Hey guys, happy Saturday! Okay, so I'm on StreamYard. So the comments are a little bit delayed from, you know, from YouTube. So yay, it looks like, wow, a lot of you guys are already here and you've been talking. Um, oh, Kayla said this is gonna be the first live chat. So yay, welcome. Lady Knight's here. Um, Silvamani is here. Butterfly Love Child is here. Chantal, hey! Jonathan is here. Aloha. Um, yay! Poor Sue is here. Yay! Hey! So I wanted to use my desktop because, hey, Gemini, um, in case some of you wanted to be on the chat, which, hold on, let me press the little invite just in case you guys didn't get that in the community page of my YouTube page. There we go. And I will post it. Okay, so that is the link. If you want to be in the video, I can have up to 10 people in our video today. So we could all, like, you know, in case you didn't want to do the chat, you know, because I know most of you are probably just going to want to do the chat. But yeah, we're just going to have ourselves a virtual slumber party. But yeah, so poor Sue is eating Ben & Jerry's. That's perfect. Hey, Kapil. So, hey, Jen, what's up? So yeah, that is the link here if you guys want to enter the studio with me. So you would be on video too, although you don't have to if you don't want to. I just thought it would be kind of like fun instead of like just hearing my voice the whole time. But okay, so we click that off. So let me do a little intro. Oh God, damn. There we go. And boom. There we go. So welcome to Pajama Jam, everybody. Okay, so some things that I have going on here. Let me just move my keyboard out of the way. Because it's supposed to be like slumber party, Pajama Jam. I brought one of my stuffies. So this is Jules. Jules is my like very floppy teddy bear. I got him actually in Julian, which is why his name is Jules. And Kayla said, I'm at my grandma's, watch the Walter Mercado documentary while on this live. Hey! Oh, thank you, Lady Night. That's actually when I put my hair up at night to get it out of my face. I'll usually braid this part, but yeah, I just kind of like put my hair up. I got my bed hair. And let's see, I also have, hey, what up, Silver Star? I have my blankie because it's Pajama Jam. I'm gonna make some popcorn later. I know I promised last live chat I would have some popcorn, so I'll make some popcorn later. The bag is in the microwave, waiting for the microwave to be turned on so that you know, I can have some popcorn. I do have a hold on, there we go. I do have a beverage in here. And then I also have my, of course, I'm never without my gigantic jug of water. Silver Star is still in my PJs, but I'm at work. Nice. I did bring some snacks. Hold on, let me see. People be texting. Okay. I brought my goji berry snacks. I love me some goji berries. And I have my Kilimanjaro, which is like dark chocolate trail mix. It's like one of my favorites. So those are my snacks along with the popcorn that I'll make later. Okay. I don't know what we're going to be. Yes, Lady Night, I brought my fire hydrant. So I don't know, like, you know, you just bring a bunch of stuff to like when you're, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been at like a slumber party. I think the last time I had one, I was like 13. But anyway, oh, Porsu's here. Hold on, let me add. Hey, Porsu.
Hi.
Okay, so let's see. Jen says, I'd totally jump in and Pajama Jam with you, but I only have 15 minutes before I have to meet some girlfriends for a virtual wine brunch. Okay. Let's see. I brought also like my charm. I don't know if we're going to be using those later. I have, of course, a lot of decks, but I decided to bring more of my fun decks. Um, Silvamani said Kilimanjaro. Oh, that is such a cute stuffed animal. It is so cute. Look at the eye patch. And then, hey, science. What up? What up? I also have my, I don't know, I thought it'd be fun to play with the pendulum. Um, I brought my Pogs. I brought, I don't know, a few decks that I figure are more on the fun side. Like, I have this one. I have my Rebel deck, the game. Hey, Karina. I have my other Rebel deck just because I thought it might be fun. I don't even know what we're going to be, like what we might go and do. So let's see. I brought the Millennium Tarot because it's just cheeky and weird. I have a timing oracle in here. And then I have the Dream Keepers Tarot, which I got for my birthday. Hey, Shadowlander, what's up? Okay, so I have all of those. And then I also have the Cards Against Humanity. Actually, this is a lot of my card decks. Kayla said, OMG, I've had the Rebel deck on my wish list for a while. Is it good? It is very good. If you don't mind a lot of swearing and some very tongue-in-cheek type stuff, then you would love the Rebel deck. But I like the, hold on, the card game, the other card game I have in here, which is called Super Fight. And basically, like, you pull a card for a character, like what their power is, where the fight takes place, like other factors in it, and then you pull another card for another character, and you have to just vote on like who you think would win the fight. But it's like a mixture of like celebrities and like just random weird stuff. So I thought that might be fun for later. Let me just put that boy off to the side. I would bust out the actual Cards Against Humanity, but I saw that there was a way too many things that if we had some younger people on here, that might be a little inappropriate. Shadowlander, I have not tried that spread yet. I've been a little busy, but now that I have the weekend, that is a spread that I would definitely want to try. Okay. All right, poor Sue, got your camera all set up a little bit better now. Ooh, that is a pretty painting or a picture behind you. Yes. Let's see. Have I seen the Mood Tarot? Yes, I had that one. I ended up gifting it to one of my friends, but I really liked it. It's just I have so many decks, so I've been kind of doing like a deck clearing cleanse type thing. So anyway, Jules, I'm gonna set you off to the side. So I don't know how many of you are still in your PJs. I know one of you said that you're at work in your PJs, but I got my PJs on. Hold on. Hey, there we go. So I got like my ruffle shorts, yo. Woo! So yes, I still have my pajamas on. Okay, I'm gonna have some water before I have my juice that's in here. So water first. Anyway, how is your Saturday going? How is everybody doing? I'm sorry that it's a little dark in this corner. There is a window there, but it's facing north, so I mean, there's not a lot of sun yet. Sun's in the west right now. Sorry, the east. Hasn't hit this side yet. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a lovely Saturday. I don't know if you guys have any other plans besides this right now. I know Jen said that she's got a virtual brunch all lined up, so that sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have anything planned the rest of the weekend, if you're doing something special next week. Lady Night, I'm back in my PJs, done with work for today. All right. Shadowlander, I'm in my PJs. I sleep in a high-waisted skirt and sundress. Ooh, that seems nice and comfy. Jen is having a good Saturday thus far. Oh, I forgot. I forgot my chapstick. That's okay. We shall do. Alrighty. So anything else? What else is going on? Jonathan started my day early with Darkwood Tarot tapping and Lionsgate tapping challenge. Double tapped. Nice. I've been hearing a lot of those, tapping challenges and stuff like that. I am doing one of the Instagram challenges right now where we're working with like a spirit animal, like one spirit animal a week, and how that animal's energy can kind of help guide you throughout the week using some prompts. Chantal, I'm eating so I won't get hungry. There we go. Hashtag couscous. My day is going pretty well. I did have to get up early so that I could go to Sprouts I was trying to find some pumpkin puree. Oh, that is the cutest little horsey. So that I could find some pumpkin puree because Wally is having some tummy trouble. So he's having some issues in the litter box. But we're attributing that to the antibiotic shot that he got because he got a little cut on his tummy. So when we took him to the vet, they give him an antibiotic, and now he's got some poopy problems. So in order to pack that fiber in, we know that pumpkin puree is the best. Not pumpkin pie filling. That's not good for kitties, but pumpkin puree. So I went there, Sprouts, and they're like, "Oh, we haven't had that in months." I'm like, "So we're gonna try one of the specialty stores like Whole Foods, aka Whole Paycheck, and see if we can find some pumpkin puree. If not, we'll just go on Amazon and buy the whatever freaking 30 cans of pumpkin puree." So for Jonathan, it is 7:40 a.m. That's right. So Hawaii time is a lagging. You guys are behind us. Let's see. Oh, so Jonathan, my Instagram. Hold on. Let me type it here for you. I missed the T. There we go. Yes. Those of you that don't know my Instagram handle, there you go. Let's see. Yes, Lady Night. He's not acting like he's upset or anything. He's just like, "Mom, I have some issues in the litter." And, he's still drinking lots of water, so that's good. So he doesn't get dehydrated or anything. And he's still eating, fine. But yeah, I'm just going to have to feed him some pumpkin puree, but he loves pumpkin. So Halloween is a great time because both he and Loki, will just eat pumpkin like no tomorrow. Let's see. Karina needs to work on the blog today. Been procrastinating. Silver Star, been doing well, been a good week. Found out my friend is going to have me come into work at her pagan shop. Been trying for a year. YouTube channel is going to be good too. It's been great. For Porso, it is 10:42. Wait. I have to count backwards. So it's 24 is 12. I have to count back 4 hours from midnight. Lady Night, here we go. 7:40 p.m. There we go. And Jezebel is here. What up, Jezebel? Hey! There we go, Porsu. You are imperfect, Pajama Jam. Okay, I will have a little bit of a sippy. It is super hot today, guys. So if I keep getting the sweat off of me, even though we have a nice cool house, it's still rather warm out. It's probably going to be about 100 degrees today, Fahrenheit. Pretty warm. Richie's here. Nams Karam, how are you? Susie's here. What up, Susie? Science says it is 3:45 a.m. in Australia. Woo! You are a late bird. For Shadowlander, it's 12:44 in the afternoon. Okay, we'll see if it's too early for my juice. It feels awkward because it's not even 11 a.m. So I'm just gonna put that off to the side. My my body and my taste buds are like, it's not even close to noon. What is wrong with you? It's okay. It's looking at everybody's time. It's way past noon somewhere in the world. Jezebel, full PJ here to almost 8 p.m. Heck yeah. Lady Night's like 114. It's probably going to be like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So like 100 Fahrenheit. 114, that's a warm day, but a not burning day in the desert. I remember spending my summers with my grandparents in the desert up in like near China Lake in the high desert. And I remember they were like, "Ooh, record high today, 125." So yes, I've spent my summers, and why my parents shipped me off to die in the desert with my grandparents. I think they were trying to see kind of, strength their daughter had, I guess. Uh, but yeah, it'd be like 120, 125. There was one time it hit 130. I used to take my grandmother's like cooking pan and I would take it outside, and she had chickens on her property. So I would crack one of the eggs and I would put it in the pan and I'd go inside and I'd come back out to see if the egg would actually fry. Yes, it did. It always did. um, let's see. For Ruchi, it is 11:20 p.m. Ooh. Let's see. Poor Sue. I'm in party clothing because I'm too lazy to change. Nice. um, oh, Lady D, it is actually 114 in Arizona today. Woo! We're only 14 degrees behind you over here in East County, California. Let's see. Kayla said, I have a question. Is it customary to feel a little afraid of practicing tarot? I'm new to it and I find myself kind of scared and doing it wrong and not understanding. That's absolutely like, a lot of people tend to feel that way just because it's, especially if you're really new to it. For some people, the only thing they've ever heard about tarot is what they've seen on television, and that it's like this woo, or maybe they've heard from people who their religion looks down on, something like that, any sort of divinatory means. And so if that's all you've seen or heard, like pop culture and from people around you, of course, you're going to be a little hesitant about something like that. But I can tell you, when I was first getting into it, yes, I would get a little freaked out just because when my intuition was opening up again after closing it down, mostly, not all the way, but I was mostly afraid not of what was going on with the cards, but my own intuition. And once I got comfortable with that again, it was just like, oh, these are just like pieces of cardboard or cardstock or whatever. Like really, like where all this stuff I would feel, this power or whatever, was really just within me, and I say power is like, the power of yourself, your intuition, your soul, your spirit, all of that. So it's totally just normal if you're feeling a little, weirded out at first. I think the more you get acquainted with it and the more you start to understand what it means in relation to you, like it'll be fine. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me click off my, where did I put my, there we go. I'm gonna click this off. Ah, there we go. I'm like, why is that still on the screen? Okay, so let me go around here. Oh, Lady Night's having a freak out at how hot it can be. Kayla said it's 1:46 p.m. in Miami. And it's rainy and muggy. Ugh. I cannot stand the muggy. Mm-mm. Lady D, 118 for tomorrow. Oh, that sounds nice. Stay hydrated. Yes, Jezebel, exactly. Tarot is just cardboard pictures. They can't harm you. It's just like, yeah, I mean, just like my phone is my phone unless I decide that I feel something about it. Like, oh, if there was like some sort of weird superstition or something around the phone, then I might be like, oh my gosh, phones are the devil. Let's see. Silver Star supposed to be 99% here. It's a desert. Utah doesn't get as hot as Arizona, at least. Woo! Shadowlander tried the moon spread a couple of days ago, used the Tarot of the Mermaids deck. Yeah, that is a beautiful deck that you have, by the way. Um, yeah, Lady D, that's something that I think some people think it's funny when you're like, "Oh, no, it's a dry heat," but really is. There is a difference between bone dry heat and muggy because, like, let's say, at my grandparents' house, it was like 100 that day. We'll just do flat numbers. 100. 100 in dry heat is way different than, let's say, it's 100 degrees here in San Diego and you got like 80 or 90% humidity, because then you are just melting, like you can't stop sweating, like your eyeballs are sweating. And like when I was in Italy a few years back, Florence was pretty hot. It was like 100 degrees, but they have all this humidity. And by the way, the sun is like a laser ray over there, and everybody was just like crawling along the awnings of buildings. So yes, there's a difference between bone dry heat and muggy. um, yes, Porsu, if you would like to speak some Finnish for us, since that is definitely a language I do not know, but I think sounds awesome because I've heard it before. So if you want to do that, you go right ahead. Lady Nights in America, I've only ever lived in Minnesota. So there's these hot temperatures, sound crazy. In Minnesota, they have a lot of winter and then road construction, then winter again. Hmm. Kayla said, yeah, I just don't feel in tune with my intuition, and I'd like to know if I have any gifts. I've always been attracted to the world of magic and witchcraft and tarot and crystals and, well, everything. Me too, as a kid. And okay, my personal opinion, everybody's got intuition. Everybody has gifts, and for me, it's just part of being a human being. If you look at, like animals and stuff like that, our cats know when my boyfriend is getting close to the house, but he's usually still about 5 miles away from the house. There's no way they could hear his car amongst all the other traffic and cars, because we live in like a little city. Um, there's no way they can hear his car, but yet they start lining up at the door, and he doesn't come home at the same time every day. So it's not like oh, it's 5 o'clock, it's time to line up at the door. It doesn't matter what time he's coming home. If he's like 5 miles away, 15 minutes away from the house, they start lining up at the door, like waiting for him. And it's at different times. And so there's got to be some sort of intuition there. They know when there's a storm coming, they start acting a little different. And it's just like an extension of your body. We're all made of electricity. We have this energy in us. That's science, that's physics. We got electrical impulses going on in our hearts, our brains, all sorts of stuff like that. And so for me, intuition is just, it's an extension of yourself, your human body, so that you can navigate the world around you. And of course, there's a lot more going than what you see with your eyes. For me personally, I like to think that there's other layers to the world. And so your spirit self would want to be able to navigate that as well. So for me, it's like, that's just part of being on earth. So it's not like anything weird, and I don't think that there are only special people that have gifts. Everybody has it, to different degrees. Of course, there are some people that are like the Olympic athletes of psychics or whatever. Of course, they're like super talented, but that doesn't mean that other people can't work towards being pretty good. It's just about like opening yourself up. But anyway, let me go back to what you guys were saying. Jonathan says, I would take humid heat over dry heat any day. Really? I always get nosebleeds and cracked lips in dry heat. Well, there is that too. And static hair, like everything is staticky, right? Um, I could take some humidity though, like 70%, I'm okay in the humidity. And my dude's always, he's a few times a year, he goes and visits his friend that lives in Oahu. And he was like, dude, if you're a person who hates humidity, you would die on the Hawaiian Islands. Kayla said, so now I finally gathered the courage to be me unapologetically, but it's been tough. And that is tough. And I congratulate you, because, there are a lot of people, it's just, they live in a difficult environment, and it's so hard for them to truly be themselves. And, I think that that's sad. I think everybody should just kind of like be okay to be them. All right, Jen. Well, you have fun. You have a fantastic brunch slash lunch with your lady friends. uh,
Moi.
oh, hey, poor Sue. Okay.
Ö, Mitä kuuluu? Voi vittu. Öö, Mä en oikeasti puhu mitään järkevää tässä nyt, koska te ette kumminkaan ymmärrä mua.
Okay. Translation. What did you say? By the way, that sounds awesome. Ooh, it was 98.6 degrees in Finland. Woo, it's a hot day today. Joseph said cats are telepathic. That's how they communicate with each other. They only meow around people. True. Unless you're Wally. Um, Wally meows around Loki because Wally doesn't know he's a cat. Loki is like, "What are you doing?" Like, we don't meow at each other. So Loki does his little like cat chirps and stuff that he's supposed to do with like other cats, and Wally's like, I don't get your language. Like what? Let's see. Oh, Diana's here. What up? Says, good morning, beautiful ones. It's been a couple of days. I was going to come with you, but if you know what I've been through, OMG, hope next time, but I am here. Okay. Hopefully you got your PJs on. um, Kayla's like Olympic athletes of psychics. Yes. Do, 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 do. Butterfly Love Child said, high heat and humidity is no fun. Always gross and wet and always thirsty. Yes. Yeah, Wally does think that Loki is from like another planet. He's like, you play with these toys that are not fun for me. And because Loki loves cat toys, he speaks cat to other cats. He meows at us because that's what cats are supposed to do. Like he's pretty much a cat. I mean, he does some things where you're like, what planet are you from, Loki? But other than that, he's mostly cat. I don't know what else is in his genetics there other than cat. But Wally, um, his mother actually didn't survive the birth of her kittens. So he's never been raised by a cat. He's been hand fed since the day he was born. This lady was like working around the clock to like feed all these kittens, every couple of hours. And so he's always been like human handled, like human fed, been around humans, listens to humans. And so he a lot of those like cat like behaviors he doesn't have, like playing with cat toys, not his thing. He actually sometimes likes watching television with us. It's like, but yeah, so Wally is unique. Silvamani says, I think I am in a dream. No, you are right here. This is, I guarantee you are in the waking world. Oh, and Claudia is here. Hello, hello. Porsu says, can you send the link again? Yes, sure. Let me do that. So, oh, thank you, Lady Knight. Hey, there you go. I mean, she's like on the ball. Okay, so you guys, Lady Knight posted the link if you want to join this stream. That's why I'm on my desktop today. So I can take 10 of you in here. We can, because I want to do some ghost stories with you guys. Like, I want to, like, let's get into this. Let's see. Anna said, hello, everybody. I am a longtime follower of your live videos. Hey, never had the courage to say hi and be a part of your chat. Well, hello, hello. I finally decided to bite the bullet. Cute headband, but oh, thank you. It's my little mini do-rag. Let's see. Yeah, that will mess up the cat and a cat, but we are glad Wally survived. Yes, it was him and 6 sisters. He was the only boy. 5 of those sisters were very mean. One of them was his sidekick. Like she was also the runt of the litter. And those 2 were like 2 peas in a pod. But she ended up getting bought by a like there's a family that's like where they're like friends of ours, and they ended up getting her. They named her Roxy. She just looks like a smaller version of Wally, but they look identical. And she also has a lot of the same behaviors, except she's seems to be a little bit more cat than Wally, which is interesting. Um, So yay, yay, yay. Okay, so I will hide this now. So again, if you guys want to join, there you go. Okay, so I have some decks. I have some other goodies. I have some um, juice, which I'll have more of. And like I said, my body's like, this is too early for juice. Okay, I would put my blankie on me, but like I said, I'm melting. My legs are melting. Whew. Okay, and I don't really feel like snacks yet. Let's pull out. Horses said, wait, is it Wally or Wall-E? So no, Wally with a Y, but we did get his name from the movie Wally. We just didn't spell it the same because we felt he was kind of like Wally. Like he's curious, he's innocent, he's cute, he's got a heart of gold. That's Wally. So yes, we named him after the movie. We just didn't spell his name like the movie. um just looking through what you guys are saying. Jonathan said we had a feral cat that was brought into my husband's vet hospital with a laceration on her face. Aw, when she was a kitten. Another doctor bottle fed her until she was old enough for us to adopt. Aw, so I'm so glad. I love hearing like rescue stories. um, yes, Diane, very true. Everyone is magical. Everyone has a special gift. Jezebel said, juice. Think I'm gonna make some coffee. Jonathan's like, but she's rude and vindictive, not very loving at all. Yikes. Oh, well, hopefully, I mean, it is difficult with feral cats. I will say that. It is hard to, once they're out on the street, especially for a particular amount of time, when they're young, if they don't have human contact for a while, it's like, but I do think it will take some time, but eventually that like sweet kitty will come out. Just give it some time. um, okay, so I have my little fun magnetic pendulum. I thought it would be fun just for us to do a little, yes or no type questions. And you know what I thought would be fun too? Um, Either playing Never Have I Ever or Truth or Dare. What do you guys think? Okay, looks like Poor Sue is back. Hold on. There we go. So remember, if you guys want to jump in too, you could jump in too. Okay. Does anybody have a question for the pendulum? We'll just I'll have to sit it on the table because this is not very stable, it being in my hands. So maybe I'll have some water too. We gotta even this juice out with some water. So poor Sue, maybe you could think of a question. Do you have a question for my magnetic pendulum? Hold on, let me make sure it's working correctly. Sometimes the little rod gets bent and it doesn't always hit all the answers. Okay, Lady Knight wants to know, will I be able to travel to America next summer? Okay, let me get some water from my fire hydrant. Okay. Okay, no questions from Porsu, but let's look at Lady Knight. All right, 1, 2, and whoo! I don't think I can put this down really. Let me see. Nope, it doesn't go down any further. It's literally just the built-in camera on my desktop. Yes, Porsu, stay hydrated. You said it was a very warm day over there anyway. Okay, it's still moving around, Lady Knight. It's still moving. I was thinking of the Energizer Bunny commercials. Still going, nothing beats the Energizer Bunny. Anna said, "Ah, you're your Wally's Eve then, I guess." Just thinking about because his name comes from the Wally movie. Yeah, we always joke that maybe one day Loki will be his Eve, and we're like, no, he likes to smack Loki way too much. I do have a Wally and Eve on my bookcase though. Okay, lady night, it says try again. And we shall. Hold on. Do. It is so hot. I should turn on the air conditioning, but I'm kind of cheap. So I'll open a window. Where is it going? Where is it going, Lady Nights? It's still moving. Hmm. Okay, Lady Night. It says to ask a friend. It's being very precarious. So yes, I don't know. Maybe are you going to be traveling with a friend, traveling with somebody else? So maybe it's determined based on who it is that you're meeting up with or who you're going to be going with is actually the deciding factor. Um, ooh, Silvamani, when will I meet my soulmate? Oh, Silvamani, that's um hold on. I can bust out one of my newer decks for that. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So I just got this one. It's called the Timing Oracles, whoop, and I got it on Etsy. It's by Psychic Star, and basically it just gives you like the timing of everything. So I don't know how accurate it is yet because I haven't really asked it any questions. But Silvamani, I'll ask. And remember, always remember that when you're doing a timing question, you can't just then sit back and let the universe take over because um, things don't really happen if you're not putting the work in. So I'm just saying. Okay, when? Salvamani, when? Donde? No, that's where. Cuando. Lady Night's like, the suspense. I know. What kind of answer is that? I want to visit friends. I will go by myself. Interesting. So, Vamani, I have a card. It says, don't take it to heart, bro. You need a break. You might be pondering the soulmate thing a little too hard lately. Maybe you're pushing a little too hard. So right now they're like, take a breather, just like maybe just be you, be your awesome self. And just by you chilling and being your awesome self, some girl like, hey, and maybe she'll see you. So I hope, I don't know. I haven't really, like I said, really had a chance to use this deck, but I'm having fun using it with you guys. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to this question. Ruchi, will I get married in 2021? I don't know. Let's see. Let's ask the pendulum. Oh, I know, Susie. This is like, it's really fun. Like, it has like months of the year. It has like divine timing is at play a week from now, a month from now, a day from now. Like, it's got all different, hold on, like different pieces of timing with like some stock photos, which I think is pretty cool. It's a little more than I would pay for a deck that doesn't come with a box or a guidebook or anything really. But I thought it was fun and I like supporting small businesses anyway. So, okay, Ruchi, it says to try again. I swear, I'm like, okay, it's on level ground. Okay, I'm like, It's just deciding that you guys don't get answers today. I mean, I can't make it give answers. Um, Karina said, "Will I get the blogging job from TWB, or will I finally pass the CSET and be a teacher?" Well, let's ask the teacher one because I'm a teacher. I remember passing the CSET. Well, obviously, I had to pass the CSET. So, okay, so I finally passed the CSET and be a teacher. Let's ask the pendulum. Let me move the juice out of the way. um, is this actually going to be a different answer than try again? Oh, 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 hold on. It's slowing down. Where are we going? Where are we going? Somewhere other than try again, please. Okay, so movement is on the way. So keep like I don't know if you've taken it yet, but just like keep studying. It looks like this is going to be a thing. You will be a teacher, but you can't just like kick your heels up right now. So it's like steady, 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 hardy, Marty, as they say, or maybe my dad says he'd always be like, steady, steady, hardy, Marty. But anyway, Shadowlander, when will my music career take off? Ooh, we could take this deck. When will my music career take off? When will my music career take off? Let's see, Shadowlander. August. So that could be next month, or it could be a year from now, 2 years, but maybe somewhere in August, some August. But also remember, like I always say, you guys, if you want certain things to happen, you got to work for it. But also, know that the universe is working too. So, um, let's see. Olivos Art Studio. Where will I be for the holidays? A where question. I don't know if I have. Let's see. Do I have a deck for that? Hmm. Ooh, let's ask my weirdo deck, the super awesome fortune cards. Okay. Ooh, it sounds like the mail is coming too. Put that down here. Okay, where will Claudia be? Where will Claudia be for the holidays? I'm going to pull 3 cards because this is more of a Lenormand type deck, but it's a weird deck. So, nice. 2. That's interesting. That's muy interesante. Okay, so we have the kiss up. We have illness. I think you guys can figure out what that is. And we have the snake. So I'm thinking for the holidays, that there's a lot of people who they're trying to do whatever it is that the government and their state, their county is telling them to do about this whole thing that starts with Corona beer. And people are, doing their social distancing, they're wearing their masks, they're taking their precautions. So it's like what I see as the kiss up. People are doing what they're being asked to do. However, we have this sneaky little guy. Hold on. It's hard to see like where my camera is in relation to my desktop, but this sneaky little guy seems like it's gonna have some issues with people's holiday plans. So Claudia, whatever that means to you, I'm feeling like the holidays might have a little bit of a due to this thing. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look back. Oh, Diana wants to join. Yay! Yes, yes, please do join. Papo, yeah, I was just kind of like mostly answering like the yes or no questions with like my fun little pendulum, like just for funsies. But it says, can you help please? Would like to know if I'm going to get a good job in 2021. Soraya Gonsalves is your name. Gonzalez. Okay. Remember, if you're trying whatever it is that you guys want to get, like you got to work your tail ends off. But if you're doing that, let's see what the universe will have to say. So I'm going to actually use my little pendulum again. It's a magnetic pendulum, by the way, and I can't lift it up because like my hand isn't completely flat, so that's why it's on the table. I'm trying to like give somewhat semi-accurate answers. I don't know, but this thing has been really coy today. It usually doesn't always give the same answer, which is interesting. It just feels like being a little butthead. I don't know. Okay. Oh, hold on. There are some people coming in. Give me just a second. All right. Divine inner love and Porsu.
It's me, Diane, Divine Inner Love.
Hey, what's up, Diane?
No, I am a wreck, so you're not gonna see me.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Wait. But you're gonna see. Wait a minute. I'll see who you're gonna see. Benny Bunny. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I've been.
Hello.
Hello. From
Oh my gosh, so cute.
That is so cute. It's Benny Bunny from Alice in Wonderland. Hello. Hi, everybody. Diane's not feeling too good today. She doesn't look too good today, so she decided to show me instead.
Aww.
So, I'm here. I'm here, though. Guys, honestly, you have no idea what I've been through. Girl, I don't want, you know what? It's been quite a bit. Kind of weird, you know?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I'm a wreck. I normally so I rather put Benny Bunny because Benny Bunny has and my little unicorn here, so they have a pretty face, you know. I don't have a pretty face right now.
Girl.
How are you guys doing? I made it.
Good.
I made it.
Okay, so Papo, I just popped in the comments there. It said on the pendulum, it said ask a friend. So it could be employing the help with somebody that you know to help you get a job. So really reaching out to those contacts and people who know people. Definitely. Okay, let me look back at the comments here. I missed some. Jonathan said, ask the pendulum if my mom will get to come visit us for Christmas. Oh, Diane and Porsu, you know it would be fun. Porsu, I know that you don't have any cards, but I want to ask for your intuition. And since Diane, you're here, wouldn't it be cool if like we could all like maybe do something? I'll use the pendulum. You could use some cards. Porsu, you could use some intuition.
I'm on. I'm in.
Okay.
Okay.
I brought.
So,
I'm in all the Alice thing these days, so I brought the Alice. I just got them, so I'm excited about it. Okay.
well, I'm happy to. I can't wait to see them because that's one that's on my wish list. So.
Oh, it's a must. You know what? I have. Okay, so I have the mermaids too, but the Alice. You know, when I first found out about her, I fell in love with the mermaids because I like mermaids. I make little dolls like this and.
Aww. Oh, that's right. You make like worry dolls too and stuff.
I do, yeah. So I love the mermaids, and I ordered it, and then I realized she had this ones here, and then I ordered them after, and it happened that I got the Alice first, but the Alice, so far I haven't connected with the. How ironic! I haven't connected with the mermaids yet, but the Alice are wonderful. They're great, very nicely done.
Nice.
So I do, and they talk. They talk about you can connect about love, you can connect about anything, and they're pretty good. The mermaids, like I say, I was so excited to get them, but I haven't really. Let me show you guys so you have the different. There's something about them I haven't connected to them yet, like I did with Alice. Now, if you can see
That
the,
one I love.
this will show you the also the how they are, right? The Alice has the
Hmm.
silver. These ones here are more thicker. So if you're into thicker, so let me see, can you see that? The camera, I don't know why the camera goes crooked, guys, honestly. You think you're in front of it. So you see this one you can shovel nicely. This one's here. May as well show you, right? So in case you're gonna make a decision, right? Like these are a little bit different.
Yeah, the Dame Darcy, those are that's one of my fave decks.
Yeah, yeah. I love them both, but I didn't know. I didn't think I was going to connect that much. I thought I was going to connect more to the mermaid one than
Mm.
the Alice, and I'm so loving Alice. So I totally recommend it. If you guys
Okay.
are thinking of getting it, I recommend them both. I mean, I love the style. Do you have the mermaid? You have the mermaid, right? I think I learned that from you. Yeah, I saw you having, and also had the other girl, the charm girl.
Oh, Charmed Intuition. Yeah,
It's
Liz.
funny because I do charms, and I was trying to post a video with charms, and there she was, and it's like, oh my god, she's so cool, and I got so into, and then I found you and I go, oh my god, she's so cool. I love these people; they're so awesome. So here we are, and
Yeah, I
totally,
remember watching your channel. It probably was maybe 3 years ago.
my goodness, look at that. So welcome back. How we get lost and then
So
we come back.
Jonathan was wondering if his mother will get to come visit for Christmas. My pendulum says basically it's going to be dependent on help from other people that's going to be able to get her to come visit.
Is that
Um,
Jonathan? Let me see what I can pull for Jonathan here. All right. Is his mom going to come for Christmas for Jonathan? Let's see what Jonathan, what do we get here?
oh, Anna was commenting on your coffee mug. I have that same one. I love that one, the Witch's Brew.
You know what? I know, right? I love it. I do lucky boxes, and I'm waiting for a couple of them to add them in lucky boxes. But it's surprise lucky boxes. I shouldn't be saying that there's going to be another inside of lucky. I swear. I mean, the people need to have this. Okay, so what I'm getting here too seems like that he needs some help too as well for getting the mom. Something to do with legal papers, something, Jonathan. Some paperwork needs to be done or something like that. But if you do that, definitely she's going to. You just need to do some work to get your mom to visit you. Does that sounds like something make sense to you, Jonathan? Something to do with paper, legal work documents. Oh God, I hope it's not the vaccine, guys. Oh Jesus. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, well,
Seriously.
somebody else was asking about that. It said, I think it was Ruchi. Ruchi was like, when will this virus come to an end? That one's difficult because, I
Uh,
mean, just dependent on, like, it depends on us, depends on like strains, and like that one is such a difficult question to
you
like
know,
be
guys.
sure.
You know me, right, girl? You know me. I speak truth, and that's why I disappear for a while. You know that. You know,
Yes.
I got banned from everywhere. But I want you guys to first of all, one for a few things. Don't be afraid. Okay, the fear is they're trying to infuse fear to everybody, and that's not cool. Okay, guys. But people are fearing. Second of all, there is coming a second wave. There is. So be prepared. Just you know what? Don't go crazy buying toilet paper. All this. Be prepared.
Yeah, but now it's paper towels. Like people have gone crazy with paper towels. I'm like, what?
But be prepared for it. There's a second wave coming, and of course, now apparently everybody's gonna have it. No joke. The testings that they're doing, they're not 100% accurate. So they do tell people, yeah,
Oh,
they
go
do.
ahead.
They do tell people. They do tell people that they haven't when they probably they don't. So just proceed with caution. And what you're gonna do, guys, the best thing to do, go within inside yourself. And this is the time that you start learning about you. We were talking about earlier about how we're all magical. Yes, yes. As long as we don't allow them to control us, to believe we're not. Guys, you are all special. You'll have a special gift. So this is the time that if you have to be in a lockdown, take advantage of it and go within, okay? And don't have fear. That's what I'm gonna say. But it's not gonna end pretty soon. No. I wish I could say yes, but it's not. Let's have fun at it. Let's keep doing this kind of show.
And Jonathan, my boyfriend, like he when he goes to visit his buddy, it's not really like for a vacation over there in Oahu, like, but I mean, it kind of is because he gets to see his best friend, but and like stay at his best friend's beach house. But he tints, like that's what my boyfriend does for a living. He owns a tint company for like residential and commercial. So
Whoa.
he already had his film shipped to Hawaii, so he has about $800 worth of film sitting in Hawaii for since like June.
Wow.
He hasn't been able to come over because he'll get a flight ticket, and then the mayor decides like, no, we're shutting this down again, and so then
Mhm.
people cancel their tickets. So then the whole like airlines cancel the tickets. So it's like
Mhm.
he's like, I just want to go tint some windows, like.
I understand. And tell them not to get frustrated because the energies right now are working to make you guys frustrated, upset, depressed. Just be aware of it. And so what do you do? Listen to some music that will make you laugh and enjoy. Come like we are here having fun. Have fun. You know what? Be a kid. Be a kid. Play. Honestly, guys, go back to your child and don't take everything too serious because a lot
Yeah,
of people are being very serious.
together,
Right?
for sure. Mhm.
Right? Honestly. How did
Jonathan was saying that the paperwork makes sense because his mom is going to have to get tested before she comes to Hawaii.
there you go. But she will. She will as long as you got the paperwork. Oh, and don't let by the ways, I can continue on with him if you want me to tell more.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
For Ruchi's question, just like I decided to use the Rebel deck because it's cheeky, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but about the thing that's going on,
Yes, yes,
um,
yes.
that was the answer.
What was that? Let me see. Some good. Well, yeah.
About so on the back, but don't let your issues or fears f it up.
Yeah. Don't let the negative things consume you. And that's what I wanted to make. It's funny you say that. There you go. Pow! Who pow! Hey, let's do this. Who pow!
Nice, I love it.
Good job. Okay, so we got the answers there. They're good for you. Anybody else?
Okay, we have a question from yes, Jillifer. We're just kind of like having fun with like the pendulum, and Diane has some cards. Poor Sue's got some intuition over there. You can chime in anytime. And Chantal Charm said, I have a question. Will I meet someone this year? I'm so tired of being alone. Okay, let's see. I want to use a different deck for that one. I kind of don't want to the Rebel deck on that one. There. Yes, Jonathan, the one of 1918. That one was crazy too because um, there was a certain point, like for a couple of cities, because it was, like was it either during World War I or after it? But they were like, "Oh, there's no pandemic anymore. Everybody get together." So they had all these parades and everything, and everybody got together, and everybody just like got sick and just like, like, that one was
You
that was.
have to realize that the what's coming up pretty soon is flu season, right? and they're gonna call it Kobe, right? But
Mm.
flu season's coming anyways, right? So everybody gets a cold or something, and it's Kobe, Kobe now. Wait, I have something really funny to show you guys. Wait up. Let's see if I have it.
All right,
First of all,
we'll catch you later.
I'm always playing, guys. Okay, so I can like watch this.
So you really can speak? Of course, why not? My name is Benny, but only to my friends. Otherwise, Benny Bunny.
I had to. No, but I had something else to show you. Wait, oh, here we go. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. This is funny. Okay, watch his ugly. And we're making fun of him. Okay, so play,
Oh my goodness.
play, guys. Play.
All right, Claudia, we'll catch you later.
So what was, guys?
Oh,
I'm crazy. Okay.
it was Chantal wants to know if she will meet someone this year.
Yes, we were with Chantel. What did you got there with your cars? Let's see.
Oh, I haven't pulled them yet. Let's see. Susie said my grandpa was born in 1911. He's passed now, but luckily survived the flu in Chicago, in a cold Chicago flat. Woo! Yeah,
Wow.
my grandfather was born in 1900 on my birthday, actually.
Oh, nice. That's so cool, girl.
And Jonathan said, when you're well, you should take a jade screen Chinese herbal formula. It strengthens your immune system. Just don't take it when you're sick. Oh, it's funny you speaking of jade. That was the stone that I wanted to have with me during this chat. Like I always have to have a crystal, and jade is like the one. It is.
I got a bunch of, look at it. I'm just going to show you my crystals there. I had to have a whole bunch of crystals around me all the time. Do guys make sure you do take your vitamin D3. It's very important. And zinc. It's very important to keep healthy. Eat well, healthy. And those are things that are very important to do. People are not aware of those things, but it is important to,
Mhm.
yourself healthy.
Okay. I
Okay.
have some question, or I have something from my cards, and then whatever you pulled, we'll see
Yeah.
what you pulled too.
Yeah.
Okay, poor Sue's brother is there. Okay. All right, so Chantal, I got the Justice card. Hold on. There we go. The Justice card, the Eight of Wands card, and I got the Ace of Pentacles. So what I was getting with that is this being you, the Justice card. And I was really getting that you have to be more fair with yourself in realizing that you do deserve, somebody really good in your life, that, you got to start just mentally and, within you, tipping the scales in your own favor. I know it's something that externally that you want, but sometimes when we talk about ourselves and we think about ourselves, we're usually pretty harsh with ourselves. And I speak from experience. I can be very harsh, and sometimes I have to stop myself when I'm mentally talking to myself. Like, I'll be like, oh, da, 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 and I'm like, why would you say that to yourself? And I'm like, I don't know. But it's stuff like that. So it's just maybe taking a look inside, and when you're listening to some of your self-talk, some of the things you say in your head, or you say about yourself, even if it's in a joking manner to other people, sometimes it's that same negativity, joking or not, over and over again, isn't doing you any favors, basically. So it's to turn the scales, or not turn the scales, tip them so that they favor you, that you are very deserving of somebody who is a great person, to have in your life. And when you start to do more of that, and there's more of I am worthy, I'm a great person, people would be freaking over the moon to have somebody like me. you know that's when that Eight of Wands comes in. That's when that movement starts to happen. um and that's when there are more opportunities to meet other people and to bring other people into your life. So it's just a little bit of shifting how you speak to yourself, which opens you up to more possibilities. So, and Diane, you can go.
Yeah, it's funny you got. I was showing them because look, I got the judgment, right? Kind of
Oh,
like almost the same as yours. That's a
mhm.
judgment. I mean, again, what I'm saying is stop judging yourself too much. Like you basically nail it, girl. It's almost everything I said here. Be gentle. Take care of yourself. Why is the camera does this? Okay,
I
guys,
know.
I am so not computer wise. Okay, uh, so yeah, you definitely need to nourish yourself a little bit more. Believe in yourself. Don't be so tough on you. Don't there by the way, your king is out there. He's out there waiting for you. This is a good thing, but not until you actually elevate yourself to loving yourself and nourishing yourself. And again, with the judgment means that yes, you will get, he is coming, but you need to nourish yourself. You need to take good care of yourself. Don't be so don't you I get that when you look at yourself sometimes in the mirror, you judge, you're very critical of yourself. Again, I don't know you, but let me know if that makes sense. Stop it. Now, when you look yourself in the mirror, say, hey, I am beautiful. I got everything that I need. I'm enough. And you know what? My king is going to love me. Is going to like me for who I am. I don't need to pretend to be anybody else because you know what? Again, that's the judgment. When you when you make yourself, that elevate yourself, you would align with this gentleman. And he's got money, by the way. He's a guy with money. You will align with him. But right now, what's happening, he's out there. But because you're down here, you need to align your vibration to him. And voila. And you know what? Again, hoop out, girl, hoop out. Oh my God. So hopefully that makes sense. Hope that makes sense to
Yeah,
her.
she said, so starting with self-love, working in progress. So yeah, I told her that she is awesome, a lovable person, and you
Yes.
are definitely worthy of so much. Everybody is worthy of love on this planet. And plus, I think if more people love themselves and open themselves up to love, we'd probably have a lot less issues
Absolutely. Well, guys,
in the world.
yes. You know what? The thing, why do we judge ourselves? The point is here. Let me just say, it's like it's the media. It's the media is trying to tell you you're supposed to look like that, supposed to be like here and that and that. Who invented that? Think about it. God created you the way you are, and you are beautiful. You're a masterpiece. So remember that. No matter if you're skinny or you're bigger or you're smaller or short, tall, blonde, a brunette, dark, we're all, you know what? We all have blood running in our veins. We all have feelings. We all have a
Yeah,
beautiful,
the same color.
yeah, we have a beautiful spirit inside ready to come out. Some of you guys are tormented by the programs. Again, work it out so you get out of that and you start accepting and loving yourself for who you are. And once you do that, everything is going to start aligning with you. And so, absolutely, time to get out of those programs, guys. It's time to unprogram yourself. And yeah, good one. Yeah, good.
Karina was also asking for both you and I how we learned tarot, if there was book recommendations or classes we took. So Karina, for me, because I don't know, like where I want to say I started my tarot journey, like actually learning a system. That was probably back in 2000, 2001, no, 2000. Yeah, because that's when I got my first actual tarot deck. Trying to learn a system back then, and I was using the is it Monte Farber and Amy Zerner or something like that. It was the Enchanted Tarot. That was my very first deck. And the book, it was a good book because it told you like, if this card is in this position, this is what this would mean. And so I was like using that just to kind of try to learn. Later on, I got the Osho Zen and I learned that system. And it was just kind of like reading the guidebooks, basically. Later on, just to like work with intuition, this was probably about 8 8 or 9 years ago, probably 8 years ago now. I took it was some classes with Vix of New Age Hipster. It was just like a little like fun thing. It was just like opening up intuition type stuff. Um, and then I never really got tarot books. I have tarot books now, um, but I mostly started with my intuition, and I would say that goes back to childhood. So probably about 5 years old ish. I used to play with like my old maid playing cards, and I used to play with just regular bicycle playing cards, like for poker and stuff like that. Um, and I would look at them and they would mean something to me. And I made up my own little meanings for them as a kid. And I would imagine that the old maid cards, that the characters on the cards could talk to me. And that's kind of just, I did that. And so then when I got my first deck, I just looked at the pictures at first and I let the pictures tell me like what things meant. But I mean, in a nutshell, that was my journey. But I don't know, Diane, what was your journey?
I have a long journey, guys. I do. Since I was a kid, I always knew I felt that I did not belong here. And I will go up there I used to hang around with my cat and dogs. I really connected to animals too. Since I was a kid, I was more, my friends were animals. I didn't have really friends. They did not get me. And so I would go out in the terrace of my home and I would look at the stars and I go, what am I here for? Right. And so, I knew things beforehand, and I thought I was cuckoo because at the time nobody really guided me. My mom did used to read cards. Every time I asked her, "Can you read my cards?" She go, well, "No," right? And I understand you don't do that for children because when we do card readings, what's happening at the moment, right? What we're telling them in the moment, it can change. It all depends on you, right? So you got to understand that if a reading comes certain way, and so that's what my mom used to explain to me. So in my journey, I was going back and forth. I had a really rough childhood, but what happened is that that guided me into being a victim mind, which was the worst thing I could ever be. But a lot of us do that. Circumstances makes us victim mind. And finally, but I kind of like used to see things before ahead, like all this thing happening here. Like 2 years ago, I told my workers, guys, this is gonna happen, and they go, oh yeah, okay, you're crazy. So anyway, then I moved on, and like so 10 years ago I decided to take a plunge and get myself DNA activation and go. I actually was invited to go join a mystery school in Toronto. Now they invited me for a whole year and I kept saying no, but they kept saying you belong with us. And so I'm glad I took that journey and I learned so much. And the cards, I always had cards. My first cards I had was this one's here, Messages with the Fairies, because I always seen fairies when I was younger. I connected, I seen the other round. There's other rounds, guys. There's other things that we don't see. There's other things that a lot of us are blind to it. But I used to see all that, but I kept very quiet because people thought I was cuckoo. But in the journey with the Mr. School, I actually realized, okay, I'm not cuckoo. I'm not cuckoo. So I started connecting with my higher self, and I had to clean a lot of the, like I say, programs. I do have a mystery school now that I do online, by the way, for those who want to. But the card readings, I cannot stand the books, guys. I cannot. Every time I get a book, I throw it away. And I go with my intuition like you do. I know the meanings of it. I have read them and I'm totally okay, cool. But I rather go with my intuition. And I learned, little by little, I learned. I attended one of when Doreen was still cool. I attended one of her classes too, and and she was really good, guys. Look, I mean, she was good. She was right on it. I don't know what happened. I don't want to talk about that, but she did told truth, okay. And so I still will say, things happen in life, and you got to respect people or their choices. But she did used to talk about how intuition is the best to follow your card. And sometimes, like I don't know if you know that while you're doing a reading, if there's other noise, like say a car engine starts or something, use that. Use that. It's part of your everything. The minute you start reading for that person, if your cat meows, that's part of the read, And so don't ignore your senses, your feelings. I try not to ignore that. The times I try to ignore again, and that goes for everybody, guys. That goes for everybody. Follow your intuition, even in your life. So many of you sometimes have made a decision. You go, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then you change, and then down the road go, oh my God, I had chosen wisely, and I changed. Why did I do that? It's because you went from your intuition to your mind, the mind that chats. So for that's so it's been a journey for me. Being a journey of, and I continue learning. There's never ending of learning as long as we're on this lifetime here. And it's not a learning, by the way, it's a remembering who you are. So it is a journey for everybody. And the mission for everybody is to remember who you truly are, not who they told you you are, but who are you? Go inside, deep inside, and then come out. So yeah, it's been my whole life like that. And I used to do a lot of music. And when I listen to my songs, they were all channel songs, all channel. A lot of those songs they're from 2014. Like I have one called Future, and it's talking all about now, what's happening now, basically the future, and so you guys know we are in the real 2012 right now. You know that, right? Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
We're actually 80 years younger, guys. We are really in the 2012. The Romans changed the calendar, and so they adjusted the calendar to be what it is 2020. But we are really, according to the Maya, the real Maya, we are really in 2012. So it makes sense, all the stuff that's going on, right? But I could be here all day talking about it, but that was really briefly just shit. By the way, some of you guys wondering who is Divine Inner Love? Is the Diane girl, Diane Caputo, the one who keeps chatting? That Divine Inner Love is the name of my business, and I go by that. But I'm Diane, so I don't know why I put Divine. I should have put my name so you guys know who I am. They was wondering, who is she? It's Benny Bunny. Yeah, I'll be here all day, but that's really briefly, just very briefly. Hopefully that answers your question.
Oh, of course, too. She has such pretty hair.
I know. Oh my God. It's so cute. Her little, what is it when she has a cow? Is it oh, it's a horsey. It's a horsey.
Because her brother's watching Netflix or something like that. So she has been relegated to the closet.
That's perfect. By the way, a lot of my recordings was in the closet, so very good. The sound is amazing. If you want to record something, guys, and you don't have the tools, the closet is the best sound thing for you. Okay.
For me and poor Sue, you guys could sell shampoo. I have whatever fancy stuff they sell at Costco.
There you go. But today my hair is, I'm not even showing myself. Guys, you have no idea. You have no idea what I've been through. Okay. It was yesterday, I was off, completely off the chart. That was like anybody else would have called 911. I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Honestly, it was really, really bad. I didn't know what the hell was happening to me, and it happened just out of a sudden. I was really dizzy, and I still was dizzy. Everything was turning. I couldn't walk. Couldn't do. I'm very healthy. That never happens to me. So I don't know if it has to do with the downloading of energies. I don't know what it is, but it really messed me up. So. So I'm here I'm actually having coffee today. I usually like having tea, but I'm having coffee just to keep my.
I have water and I have juice.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I was dizzy and not on adult drinks. Okay.
Well, see, I had a small glass of vino yesterday, but otherwise it's like maybe a glass every couple of weeks. So that's why I've barely been sipping on this, because like my body doesn't know what's happening to it right now. It's like, what are you doing?
It's funny though that you say that. I do like my vino once in a while, but I never felt like the experience I had yesterday. I never been drunk, kind of like I never. And so, but what I felt yesterday was like,
will never happen again.
Oh my God, no! But so you've been there. You know how that feels. Well, I never felt that. I never knew the feeling of it. I guess with whatever happened to me, I was like, I was spinning, like spin, spin me around and around and around. It's like, wow. What a really, really, really weird girl, I swear. Like, but again, our bodies sometimes do weird, strange things that you can't explain. And why didn't I call 911? Because they don't know what's going on with my body.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people go, why didn't you go to, because they're going to go to the doctor. They're going to assume just the
Mhm.
same way. They don't know they don't know my body.
Mhm.
But I found out it's something to do with the ear, my ear. So I did some exercise for the ear thing, so the ear will pop back. And so through the whole day, I was figuring out myself what's going on with me. And then I tried to go sleep at 1 o'clock, and then boom, again I got hit with it. And then I kept searching, and I found out this exercise, and I can share with you if you want to. This exercise, how to do it, it's something to do with the ear. If the ear is unbalanced, you will feel that thing. Because I didn't have pains, like you look at it. Do I have pains? No. Do I have headache? No. Do I have chest pain? No, no. So none of that stuff. But if I would have gone with the dizziness to the hospital, I would have probably been told that I had who knows what else, and put on pills and I'm not a pill person. I'm just not a pill person. And so again, being attuned with your body, you just basically I went to sauna and listened to what my body, and I felt something strange on my ear, and so I did that exercise, and that's why I'm here talking to you. Also, but I'm really a wreck, so I wasn't going to come out with my wrecky face. I'm gonna
Well,
bring
take care of
any-
yourself there. But
anyway.
you were talking about the dizziness. I haven't had it in a while. Oh wait, Porsu's showing her shampoo care.
Nice.
Nice. I don't remember what mine is. It's whatever. There's like a brand that's fancy at Costco. I don't even know what it is. And plus it's cheap, so that's how I get it. But
Eh,
oh, and I put Moroccan oil in my
that,
hair.
that's good.
And I never blow dry my hair. It's always air dried. So
Good.
just Moroccan oil, boom, air dry.
That's healthy.
Um,
Yeah. Good job.
but the dizziness. Okay, so hasn't happened in a while, but was happening um probably for a good like 2 year, 2, 3 year span, uh, about a year ago.
Hmm.
Um, I would just be standing, just like chilling, and all of a sudden I get this wave of like I'm gonna fall over. I was like, whoa,
It's
but
not
then
nice.
I went to the doctors because I thought maybe there's something wrong with my ears,
Mhm.
and they were like, nothing wrong with my ears. And it would only happen either right where there was a bunch of like spirit activity though, where I knew there was like a lot of spirits. All of a sudden I would get the like, whoa, and then sometimes I would like start to fall over and my boyfriend would grab me and he's like, you doing your dizzy thing? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you okay now? Yeah. Like,
That makes sense. It's funny you say that because just the day before, remember I invited you to the Gypsy show.
yeah.
Okay, what that happened the day before, the day after, I was like, I was very busy that day doing. I had the the tea with the fairies with one of my classes, and then I jumped to the Gypsy show, went double 2 times, and I still didn't finish. And you know what? You're so right. That makes sense what you're just saying right now. Because then the next day, I was so dizzy, and I did a lot of channeling, and that night it was quite a bit. I had to say enough. I had to say I need to stop because it's keep going. And so, you know what? Thanks for sharing that. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
if there's it doesn't happen like I said anymore. This past year it hasn't happened anymore. I think I'm just better at not letting the energy just like smack me in the face like that anymore. Um,
Ooh.
but let's see. Wow, what do you have, poor Sue? What is that?
What
Oh,
is she?
I was
What's
like,
that?
what do you have? But Ruchi was asking about mermaids. And since, well, I mean, yes, I love mermaids, but Diane, you are like their mermaid queen over there. Would you like to do a little spiel?
Do you want what do you want to know about mermaids? Are they real? Yes, they are.
I think
And
she just likes hearing about them.
okay, so the mermaids, there's a goddess called Yemaya, okay, and she's the goddess of the ocean. And if you go when you go to the ocean, um, don't try not to take things from the ocean unless it's given to you, and you'll know when it. And if
Mhm.
you are in the ocean and it comes to you, it's a gift from that. But don't go try to get it out of there. So that I tell that a lot of people, shells and all that, you pick them up because they're right in front of you. They're being gifted to you. But there's some people who actually go searching in and go taking out. So be aware of that. When you go to the ocean, and you sit in front of the ocean, talk to the mermaid spirits, talk to the dolphins too. They have a sonar frequency that you may hear the sound of it, and it may not make sense to you the sounds that you hear, but that's their way they're talking to you. And so they're there all the time, cleansing us, guiding us. If we go, again, you have free will. So they're not just going to come and fix you or help you unless you ask. Okay, so it's same with angels. The same with angels and fairies. They understand and they have respect of your free will. And so if you go to the ocean and if you're having worries, go and feel the water. When you're there, feel the energy of the water bathing you. Even if you're inside the water, even better. But even if you're just sitting outside, give your worries away. Tell Yemaya or tell any mermaids or mermaids, spirit of the mermaids, please hear me. Take this worry away from me and cleanse me from this burden or whatever it is that you need cleansing, and feel that doing that. If you don't have any water near you, make a bath. Make a goddess bath. Prepare a nice god. You are that goddess, so prepare that goddess bath where you're gonna lie down in the with candles, and if you want to put flowers or certain oils and salt, especially salt, and do a bath. If you also, when you drink water, also the water again, every water is connection to the mermaid and the ocean and the water element. So when you drink water, you can actually infuse your water, your drink, your tea, you can enchant it to do whatever it is that you need to do, like
Yes.
healing, right? You can put healing, or you want to manifest, whatever it is that you need, you can enchant it. Also, you can use it to clean yourself. Now, the one that you drink, of course, you're going to enchant it with things that you want for yourself, good for yourself. When you drink it, because you're 75% water, you will infuse yourself. But let's say you really have some, especially on the full moon, okay, or in a new moon, you want stuff that you want to cleanse. Grab a glass of water that you're not going to drink, okay? Grab a glass of water that you're not going to drink, and you're not going to give that glass of water to drink to nobody. And you're going to pour all the trouble, all the hurt, whatever you need to, into that water. It's like a meditation. Light up a candle and just sit there for a while and pour it all into the water. Once you finish, you flash that water out. Okay. And that's another way of cleansing. Again, every time you deal with water, you're actually connecting to the mermaid. So you can always call up on a mermaid while you're doing that and do your work too. So let's see if we can pull your mermaid card. How's that?
Ooh.
Pull her mermaid card. Let's see what the mermaids want to say to you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do one of this. I haven't really done much work with them, but let's see. Today we're gonna again. I just got them, just got them, and so I've been working on. Look at that, the temperance. There you go, temperance. Look, she's doing the water thing. You see, she's pouring the water. She's playing with the water right there. What do you want to tell us about this? I let you. I'm gonna let you use your thing. Put your 2 cents on the temperance.
Yeah, so Richie, you can just kind of gaze at what she's doing, with the water, one shell into the other,
Yeah, and
which is
so
what I do with my conchomancy readings.
it's funny she came out because I just finished telling you all that. You notice I was not playing with the cards. I just finished telling you how you've got to play with the water. And no, another thing I want to tell you about water, guys, when your water comes out of your tap, the water is very intelligent, okay? And it remembers everything. This is very something that I probably want to hear about. When your water comes out of your tap, okay? make sure you don't drink it right away from your tap. I know some of you do your filtering, which I do, but
Oh,
filter a night before. I do filter my water. What I do, I put it in the container in the vessel a night before. The jug that I have, I infuse it of how I want that water. I want to change that energy because what happens, that water that came in your pipe, if you're in a building, it's going through every pipe on all everybody's life on that building. If you're
mm,
in a home, it has passed many homes, and not every home has a happy ending, right? Not every home is happy or joyful. So sometimes you're drinking other people's energy through
yeah,
that water. That the water is very smart. So I know it sounds like rubbish. Some people goes, what? But it's try it, and you'll see the difference when you drink your water. And sometimes you're like upset and all that. You don't even know why. Maybe you just finished drinking a water from that you just poured down that hose that you didn't even know what it went through, especially if you're in a building. It might have go maybe from the person downstairs who was, being angry and screaming. And here you go, you're drinking that energy. Remember, we're all energy. You were saying that earlier. We're all energy, we're connected. And so
mm,
the water is very smart and remembers all that. So this is like this temperance that is telling you, you know what? Again, going with in your case, play with your water, play with the water, and you'll connect to us, and that will be an intuition way. Now, in the meaning of the card itself, let us know, Kitten. What do you know the meanings on itself on the books? Because I go intuition all the time. I don't memorize all those meanings, right? No, right? Same.
really not. That's, when I learn
Yeah.
the meanings and I just try to add to my vocabulary. But other than that, I'm just
Right.
building my vocabulary for my own intuition.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you see, this temperance will mean different things for different people. But in her case, it's play with your water, play with the water, connect to the water, change that energy on the water, and connect to us. And she is a mermaid telling you to do that, and you will feel the difference on your own life. And that's for her. This temperance can fall again for somebody else in a different meaning. Absolutely. Awesome, awesome.
So we were talking about, hold on, let me go back here. Well, Porsu was saying you can drink straight from their tap because their water is very clean, but I was like, you can't drink from our tap here.
No, it's
Um,
not. It's not that the water is clean, guys. The guys is the energy. That's what I'm saying. You can put it down from your tap, and even if it's filtered, but the energy that comes with that water, that's what you need to be overnight and change that energy into the energy you want, because it goes through different hole underneath the tunnels, whatever the water is coming from. It's going through different homes and different people, and it's so smart. It's collecting their energy. So that's what I meant with that. Absolutely. Just thought I'd correct that.
and then Sophie, Sophie was saying that she was telling a story about when her mother drowned, almost drowned, when she was a young adult. She said she felt hands lift her up and return her to shore and tell her to swim forward. And later in life, she was told Yamaya was her matron deity.
Whoop pow. Here we go. We got another whoop pow. Whoop pow. Whoop pow. Whoop pow. I do make wands too, as you notice, and I always play with my wands. There you go.
Pretty.
I like creating things, and that they're like infused with different energies and.
And then, so I was going to share because I almost drowned too. So
Whoa! Yeah.
I haven't been surfing probably in several years now, but I used to surf like every day, all the time. I would surf a couple of times a day. I went up to school when I went to college. I went to college in Long Beach, but I live by the beach here in San Diego too. But I used to do like dawn patrol, so I was like up early in the morning. I'd go surfing, and then sometimes like if my classes got out late, I'd go night surfing. And actually, I learned how to surf by going night surfing, so I never could see the waves coming at me. I had to learn to surf in blackness unless there was a moon out that
Wow.
night, and I would kind of try to surf near the pier. But it would just be like these, I could just feel the wave. I had to learn how to feel waves because I couldn't see them.
That's so.
Um, and so, and that was like my favorite thing to do. And I was a track athlete too. So I'd have a 3-hour practice with 1 hour of weight training. I'd go to my classes and then I'd go surf for like 4 hours, and I was just like, by the way, I ate like a horse. So
That's good though. Good for you. That's amazing.
But there was this one time, I had left, I was all done with school and everything, and I got with this guy I probably should have never have gotten with. And I was living in Orange County, and I was trying to get to know the waves there, and the waves were always just a little bit different in San Clemente. And so there's this place called Ninth Street, and I would have to hop the train tracks to get into the water because it was like train tracks, a bunch of big rocks that you have to climb down, and then sand, and then water. And then you would just like hide your flip flops in the rocks, so people don't steal your flip flops or your keys or anything. So then I would go surfing, and there was this one time I was sitting on shore, and something in my head said, "Don't go out." But I had kind of a big ego when it came to, because I was like, I'm a pretty good surfer. But I was on a board that was a new board that day. It's a short board, and I'm a long boarder. But I was like, "Ooh, I want to try out my short board." And it was the first winter swell that had come that day. It was November, and it was the first of the winter swells. And I noticed that the waves were bigger than I'm used to, like probably double the size that I'm used to. And I didn't make the connection that I shouldn't go out to the lineup with the long or the short board, because that's where the long boarders go, and that's where the bigger waves are, because a short board's meant to be closer to shore, so you can
Wow.
cut the waves and everything. So, but I didn't make that connection, and so I waited for the lull in the ocean. I looked for the rip current, because that's like the expressway. It takes you out to the waves. So I found the rip. I went out, and I'm just sitting in the lineup, and the board was having a hard time floating because short boards usually don't float that well. And so I'm like chilling, and then all of a sudden I see in the distance the waves starting to rise, and the horizon is disappearing. And I realize that these waves are really big, and that I probably just did something really stupid. So, so I was like, so I try paddling for shore, which is also a bad thing because now I put myself in the impact zone where the waves crash. you know? So I took a nice one on the head. It put me pretty deep, and so I had to, because I was getting tossed in the spin cycle. I had to find the leash on my board and try to climb the leash because I didn't know which way was up and which way was down because you get kind of disoriented. And so sometimes people accidentally swim towards the bottom when they think they're swimming towards the top. Um, so I find my way up, and as soon as I come back up, because it was a pretty long hold down, I was like, and then another wave on my head. And then I'm like holding my breath for like a minute, and then I come back up again, and it was kind of like and I could barely catch my breath, and then there was another wave, and then there was another wave, and I was like down there for a long time, and my lungs were starting to burn because I wasn't really getting any air anytime I came up. So then when I finally got up and I'm out of the water, like I poked my head up. I was like, okay, this next wave, I'm gonna try to duck dive it, so I don't get like caught in the spin cycle. So I'm like, okay, so I tried to dive under the wave, but I didn't know how massive the waves were. So the roll underneath the wave was so massive, I still got caught. And so I was like, oh, I'm all over again. So then I popped back up, and at some point I got so desperate because there's no lifeguard on duty or anything like that. But I got so desperate, I tried to jump the wave. So I like tried to jump it. I got smacked right in the face because the waves I found out that day were about 8 feet. So it was waves. And I'm like, I'm underwater, and I'm there for a while, and my lungs are on fire. And I realized that I'm about 10 more seconds away where I can't hold it anymore. And so I'm like, well, this is how I go. I was like, well, this sucks. I was like, I didn't think I was going to go this way. And all of this is like just happening in my head. And I'm totally chill under the water, by the way. Like all of this thought process is just happening. And I was like, I hope they find my body. I hope the fish don't eat me. It's probably going to be a closed casket. Well, that's going to suck. I was like, what if they don't find me? Then they'll think I ran away. Like nobody will be able to like find me. I was like, they won't know what happened to me because I didn't tell anybody I was going surfing. And I was like, I don't even have my driver's license on me. And then I'm like thinking, well, I don't need my driver's license because if I'm just going to be fish food, I don't need my driver's license. well, so I decided that I was okay with dying. Like I had decided I was ready to go. Like, and so I was getting ready to inhale, and just as I was getting ready to do that, like, because I had my eyes closed, I popped my eyes open and I could see just white everywhere because I think it was the foam maybe of the water, but it just seemed really white, like all around me. And all of a sudden, I just like something just poop popped me to the top, and I took the biggest inhale, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I just was like swimming, 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 swimming to shore, and I saw I was pretty close to the shore now because there was a little kid that was like waist deep, so I knew I could at least try to put my feet down. And another wave came, kind of knocked me over, and I'm like shaking or whatever,
The
and
last bit of it, right? Kick you a little bit as you're coming up. Oh,
oh, those are pretty, Porsu. And then I go to get onshore, and I don't know if you know what a perm is. So a perm is like here's the sand and here's the water. A perm is a trench that's about 6 feet, like right before you get on the sand. So sometimes people fall in the trench, so it looks like you're just like walking, and all of a sudden you like fall into a trench before you hit the shore. So I didn't know there was a perm right there. So I fell into this trench, and I'm like, really? Can I do this today? Because that would be great. You know, I climb my way out of this freaking trench, and I get myself on the sand, and I realized that people had been watching me from shore. And
geez.
and it was
you.
so I had a rash guard on, I had my bikini bottoms on, and I had my hair kind of like I have my hair right now, except it was in a braid. Um, and my hair was all over the place. I was like missing hair ties and I promptly vomited when I was on shore because I swallowed so much seawater. And there was a surf school right there with all these little kids that were practicing. Like I totally just like was like this creature coming out of the ocean.
The creature of
And
the
I was
ocean.
for like an hour.
The creature of the ocean.
Nobody asked me if I was okay, or people just assume, oh, she lived, she's fine.
Of course. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny.
I'm on shore and I'm like passed out, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, like, I can go home now. So the next day, I'm contemplating my life now and my life's choices and what I want to do with my life, because now I've had this like wake up call that I'm not as invincible as whatever 24-year-old me thinks I am. So then I'm on the rocks again, and this time I'm just chilling on the rocks. I don't have my board or anything. And the trains are passing behind me, and this like surfer dude like shows up. He's got blonde hair, the dreadlocks, everything, you know. And he comes and sits next to me, and I'm just like watching. I'm just like watching the water, and I'm like thinking like, do I really want to be a teacher? Because I had just finished schooling and I didn't know if I actually wanted to go into education. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be a teacher. I don't think that I'm with the right guy. I think I need to get out of San Clemente. I need to go back home to San Diego. Like, I don't want to go back home to my parents, but I was like, I want to go back to San Diego. And I'm like, I don't think I belong here, And so I'm contemplating all this stuff, and this guy's like, dude, his whole out was so gnarly what you did yesterday. Like, he was really watching you.
Oh, thanks a lot for
Like,
saving
yeah,
me.
I almost drowned. Thank you. And he's like, nah, but dude, like much respect for the ocean. And I was like, yeah, I respect the ocean. Like it wants to kill me. He's like, no, it's just like trying to show you stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like contemplating life right now. And he's like, that was so freaking brave. Like we were too scared because it was like the first winter swell, and it's like totally just old men out there, and they're like 7-foot boards. He's like, but you went out there with like a 5'4", and he's all, that's like a really short board for you, by the way. And he's like, Anna, he's all, and you were just so brave. You were the only chick out there. Like everybody else was like old men. And he's all, and I was like, yeah, it was a stupid thing to do. I probably should have never done that. I almost died. And he's like, but the thing is, you went for it. He says, you never know when you're going to die, brah. He's like, you could die today. I could get hit by this train. He says, like, you never know. And that's what the ocean teaches you. And he's like, so whatever your choices are, I hope you make a good one. And then he left.
It's true.
And I
he
was
could
like, thanks, wise surfer guy out of nowhere.
it is possible he could have been an angel with the dude thing, right? But
Yeah.
it trying to add more to your experience because that experience made you do other choices that you were, okay, I'm not happy with this. I want to do that. So that was a whole lesson right there. Very cool lesson, girl. Although everybody, gee, thanks a lot for coming to help me, right?
Yeah. I was like, oh, so everybody was just watching me drown. That's cool. Like,
and now, too bad they didn't videotape it on top of that, right?
it wasn't too long.
Video.
I actually did leave my boyfriend. I did leave San Clemente. And I moved back to, well, I sort of started gingerly making my way back to San Diego. And I ended up with the guy that I have now. And
There you
actually,
go.
we'll have been together 14 years in November. So
Wow. You see, so it worked out to the good thing. Sometimes after a big storm, the light will shine. And so that it's a good life lesson for every day too. Like, okay, yours was with the ocean. But normal life throws those waves at us. Life throws those waves at us. And in those times that those waves are tough sometimes. But it makes us realize, it makes us appreciate, and makes us say, okay, you know what, I have my life and I have my choices, and I got to do something that makes me happy. So that is a great story, girl. I do have a little story. Mine's very quick. I was like 7 years old,
mhm.
swimming in a pool. I didn't know how to swim yet, so I will hold myself from the board, kind of, and walk around. But I was very daring to go in the deep. And don't ask me why. I was not swimming, but I was like walking around, holding yourself from the thing. And somehow, right when I got in the deep, I like I didn't let go. I slipped. And there I go floating, nice slow motion, down, all the way down, down. That was a very deep pool. Again, while I'm there, I don't know if I was breathing. I don't know. I didn't felt like I was drowning or anything. I think I didn't know how. I didn't know how to swim, but I did not struggle. I just went nice and slowly, and I sat down there for a while. And I
Mhm.
saw things in there. I saw mermaids. I saw their beings. And I was like, I went into a different world. Okay. But
Uh-huh.
then all of a sudden, I just floated back up and helped myself back. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. Not my no. I could have drowned. Nobody even would have noticed that this child has gone all the way down, and I did not struggle. It just was a little flow. It was like nice and floating. And I mean, I don't talk about this too much because it sounds kind of cuckoo. Nobody will believe something like this happened. But I know we're here in this world with you guys are so cool. You are more open to the other veils, and sometimes we do cross the veils. Okay. Have you ever, any of you guys, or have you ever been in a place and you thought there was a long time you've been there, but then you look at the clock and it's been only like 2 minutes
Oh
when it
yeah.
felt like it was like half an hour, an hour? What do you think that is?
Time travel.
Yeah, you have crossed a veil. And a lot of, I don't know if in I can't see the comments from here, but I wonder if there ever any of these guys ever felt that. You can see the comments.
Any of you guys time traveling?
Like you don't even notice you're time traveling. You're like, you thought it was like half an hour, and then you look back, it's only 2 minutes. Oh my God, only 2 minutes have gone by? Really? Where was I all that time?
I'm in meditation. I'm like, I think I'm in meditation for like 5 minutes. It's like 30 minutes later. I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah. That's another one. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yes. Like the fairies have a story too. The fairies have a story of this man who played music, and they like him so much his music that they took him through the other round. Now he was a little bit greedy and he wanted money. And the fairies go, yeah, we will pay you. We will pay you, right? The fairies are tricky too, because they love his music. And what happened is that he thought he was playing for 5 minutes, and by the time he went back, it was 2 years have passed by. Yeah, 2 years passed by. The wife had a different husband. They didn't know where he was and all that. He thought he was only 5 minutes playing the music, but they tricked him because he was being greedy. The fairies can be tricky. If you're like, are gonna be, especially if you're gonna be greedy or something like that. They go, yeah, sure, just 5 minutes in their world, but in his world was 2 years passed by the time he came back. He thought it was only 5 minutes. His whole everything changed. Everything. It's so funny. And actually, it's supposed to be a true story from Ireland stories from the fairies. Look at the horsey and the pink lights.
So cute. I'm like, oh, well,
I
it's
know.
late over there where Porsu is in Finland. It's like, gosh, what is it like? Let's see, 12, 11, 10, 9. Well, probably 8 or 9 o'clock, maybe.
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
because somebody asked what we were talking about. I was like, oh, just like time traveling and near death experiences. And I was like, there was one time, I don't know if I mentioned it in a live before, where I've had like a lot of near death experiences. Like, I think I'm just like this klutzy human, just kind of going along. And it's like my guides are constantly like on high alert. They're like, this chick's going to fall off a cliff like at any moment. Like, we have to keep her away from the cliffs. Like, I had my near drowning, incident. Um, there's a horrific car accident I avoided, but I saw it in my rear view mirror because it ended up happening to the car behind me. So that was interesting. I've been electrocuted a couple of times. And then there was one time I accidentally rode my bike underneath a semi truck as it was passing by on the street. Uh, yeah, I don't know how I like did that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have like a, a lot of things. um, and then there was one time I got really sick and the doctors couldn't figure out what it was. And I was sick for a while. And um, it was like having, I don't actually, what's the name of that? People get it in like dormitories, meningitis. There we go.
Oh,
Um, it was like meningitis, but when they did a spinal tap on me, it wasn't meningitis, but it was like all the symptoms of meningitis.
hmm.
Um, and so I was like pretty sick, and I started having like photosensitivity. Like I couldn't be in the sun without my skin actually blistering. Um, and then I would get these high fevers of like 108. It would just shoot up to 108. And so I tried to take Tylenol, and I go back to the ER, and it was like this weird moment in time. And there was like a couple of times I thought I like died, and I started seeing people walking on the ceiling. Like I think it's because my brain was boiling because it was on fire.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but there was like, yeah, I've
Yeah.
had a lot of near death experiences.
Me too. I had one when I'm driving with my mom. At the time, I was again 9 year old. My little brother. We're in Guatemala, okay, and so in Guatemala we don't use seat belts at
Mhm.
that time. And she had a little, the little bug, the little Volkswagen bug cars.
Oh,
Yeah. So she's driving. My little brother's about 2 years old. He's just standing in the back seat there, standing. Okay, that's how it is in Guatemala. Okay, it's not like here you got to put the kid in a chair. No, 2 years old kid standing there, and I'm like sitting in the front, and the Volkswagens in the front has a little holding thing. So here we go. We're driving. We have a green light. It's the middle of the night because we were just coming from visiting one of my mom's friends, and she had a little girl. I played with the little girl. We were kids, we're playing. The moms used to get together, and so we were driving home. And we got the green light, and as we're going in the green light, there's this big truck, huge truck, coming right where hit my door where I am. Okay, and I'm watching this all slow motion. I did for some reason I held on that little thing in the front in the Volkswagen. I see the truck hitting my door. Okay, me already. The big thing to the little car rolling on is something did to the truck that the truck actually rolled on top of the Volkswagen, and it was like tripped on the car. Like he tripped, and it was upside down. It ended up upside down somewhere else. And then my mom hit the window with her head. We hit our post, and I'm observing all this, right? I'm just watching all this. And so once everything is finished, I'm okay. Nothing happened to me. That big thing hit my door. So I feel I'm always well protected. I know I've been in many accidents where I feel like I'm elevated or something. It's a big shield around me. I'm well protected. And it has happened just recently too. but I have all these angels around me all the time protecting me. But that I saw my mom hitting the thing, and that was one thing was, oh my God, my mom. And then she looked at me and she has a little bit of blood coming out of her head. Of course, she broke the
Oh,
window. And then I see my brother, he had hit his nose, so he had blood coming out of the nose. So I'm very calm. When the ambulance gets there, the ambulance put us all inside. Like here I am, this 9-year-old kid, right, holding it all together. This is funny at the end, okay? It's funny. I'm holding it together. We're in the hospital. I call my stepfather. I'm like, call my stepfather. We're in the hospital. Mom, they're okay. They're just making sure we're okay. They checked me out. I was just fine. You know how sometimes you get hit and you don't feel it until after? Well, I was fine. I was released really fast. Everybody was released fast. Except my mom still, they were putting stitches on her head. We got home. So finally, our stepfather comes and picks us up. Got home. So time to go to bed. My mom can come and say goodnight. And here I go. Okay, through the whole thing, I was cool, right? When she said goodnight, wow! I start crying. It was like so late reaction, like, oh. But I will never forget. I was only 9 years old, but I never will forget that because, wow, everything was slow motion. Everything's happening, and I'm not being bumped or thrown away or nothing. And I'm like, wow, like I'm coming to think about it. Like now I think about more, but then I was more concerned about my mom, my little brother. And that's why I was crying because, oh, I was so happy that everybody was okay. But I was like, and I cry so hard. But yeah, I've been through a lot of those experiences. But I feel though, you know what it is? Those experience takes us to a different level. Like we're talking about stories and all that. Every time we experience something like that, we see beyond. When you cross veils, you see all the beyond the veil. You see how powerful and strong you are. And so it wakes you up and wakes you more. Kind of like reminds you more who you are. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Here's an interesting story, guys. Oh, there we go. Okay, so when I was like 16, I think. We had a house fire. So my parents had moved into my grandparents' house. They were like renting from my grandparents and like my mom's mom and dad. And so we had issues with our smoke detectors. Like they would just kind of go off in the middle of the night for no reason. And so at some point, my dad took the wiring out because they didn't run on batteries; they ran on the wiring of the house. And so the smoke detector that was mainly between all three bedrooms, me, my brother, and my parents, it was usually the one that always went off at like 3 a.m. And so my dad was like tired of it, so he undid it. And so there was one night, and this was during the summertime, so I was off of school, and I was getting ready for bed, and I had this feeling. It was like, am I gonna get in trouble for something tomorrow? Like, what did I like? I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, or I feel like something bad is gonna happen. Like what didn't I do? And I was like, okay, I did the dishes, like I cleaned the kitchen, I swept the floor, like I did all my chores. And I was like, what didn't I do? I was like, I feel like something, like my mom's gonna be mad about something tomorrow. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden I hear from my brother's bedroom, my brother's like, Tara, Tara. And I was like, what? And he's like, never mind. I was like, okay. And so I went to bed that night and I remember having like just some weird dreams. And the next morning I woke up early, which normally I don't normally wake up early. Oh, bye, Ruchi. That's right. It's really late for you.
Good night, Richie.
I woke up early and it was like it's summertime. So like, why am I awake early? So I'm just laying there in bed. I'm just like thinking about things like la 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 la. And then my brother comes racing to where like the door is, my bedroom, and he's looking at me. He's like, Tara, there's a fire. And I was like, what? I was like, get out of the house, grab the dog, get out of the house, and so I ran into the hallway, and I remember looking down the hallway to the back of the house, and it was just so quiet as like I could just see like flames like had totally taken out the back part of the house already. And I was like, but there was a sliding glass door that separated that part of the house from where we were. And my brother had closed the sliding glass door, thankfully. And so it's just like this, I could just see these quiet flames. And I was like, oh, whoops. And so like I ran to get my mother who was sleeping upstairs. But before I got her, I could have sworn there was a fire extinguisher in the garage. So I ran in the garage to where there should be a fire extinguisher. And I was like, where's the fire extinguisher? Who doesn't have a fire extinguisher in their house? This is insane. Like my parents are so irresponsible. Then I run up the stairs and I was like, Mama, there's a fire. And she's like, get out. And I just remember like my mom throwing off the blankets and like having to see my naked mother. I was like, ah, you know. And then I run back downstairs. And by the time I ran back downstairs, there was so much smoke in the house. It was like a black cloud. And so I started crawling on my hands and knees because that's what they teach you in school is to crawl under the smoke. Well,
Yeah.
I'm crawling and the smoke is not like it's not like there's some breathing room underneath smoke. Like the smoke literally goes down to the floor. You know, it's like it's still hard to breathe. And so I saw that my brother didn't get the dog. And the dog was running circles underneath the dining table. So I grabbed the dog and I throw her outside with my brother. And my brother's just like standing there crying, and I'm telling him to just chill out. You know, everything's gonna be fine. I was like, and I look, and none of our neighbors are awake. So I go and I run next door, and I'm banging on the door. I'm like, hey, we need help, we need help. And I see they open the blinds a little bit. They see me, and then I see them locking the door. And I'm like, thanks, hold. So so I go and I run back to my house, and there's not smoke coming out the windows that you can see yet. But there's this old man that lives across the street, and actually he had like stage 4, I forget what kind of cancer, like the couple of like the month prior, and he was supposed to have died, but he like went into this like miracle remission. Well, he comes running over and he says, where's your hose? And I said, we have one here in the front yard. He says, I need to get to your backyard. Somebody told me to come here. And I was like, oh, okay. And it didn't occur to me that there's not even smoke coming out my windows yet. So nobody knows my house is on fire. So he comes running over. He runs into my backyard. All of a sudden, I can hear like crash, crash, crash. And I thought he was breaking our windows in the back. I didn't know it was so hot that it was blowing the windows out of the back of the house. So I think he's breaking our windows. And then I'm like, oh, I should call 911. So I run back into the house where now my mother has grabbed the garden hose and she's trying to put the fire out in the house by pulling the hose into the house. And so she's just like trying to cover her face and she's like trying to like spray into that room. And so I'm crawling around looking for the phone. And we had a cordless phone at the time. And I go and I find the desk and I put my hand up and somebody didn't put the phone back in the phone cradle.
Oh,
I'm like, who put the phone? So now I'm crawling around the house like, and it's getting like, I don't know, like it feels like there's fire in your lungs. Like it really does not feel good to inhale that much smoke. So I'm like, got my like, because I'm wearing my like pajama top, so I'm just like got my shirt like over my nose, and so then I feel around the couch cushions, and I realize the phone is between the couch cushions. So I pull the phone out and I crawl back outside, and I'm calling 911. They're like, you know, and I'm telling them, you know, what my address is, and my name's Tara. I'm 16 years old. You know, my brother, he's 10. His name's Brian. You know, and they're like, what's your parents' names? And they're just asking me like. I think they were just trying to keep me on the phone, but I thought they hadn't sent, you know, in my brain, I thought they hadn't sent a fire truck yet. So I'm like, you just need to send a fire truck. I'm like, my house is on fire. Why do you keep asking me these stupid questions? I told you 3 times. I'm 16, you know. And so then the phone, I hear it go, and I was like, what was that? And I realized that the cradle that the phone was connected to melted in the house.
oh no.
So I'm like, okay. So then fire truck comes. I don't really remember some of that stuff. But I do remember them getting my mother out of the house and then my mother having like an argument about going in an ambulance because she didn't know how much it was going to cost. And they were like, well, do you have insurance? She's like, yes. But she says, I don't know how many ambulance rides we can have a year before we have to pay for it. And they're like, well, have you had any this year? Well, no. And she's like, it's fine. My daughter's 16. She can drive us. It's probably better that way. And they're like, your daughter, I don't know how much smoke she's inhaled. So they're like fighting with my mother to get us to go in an ambulance.
Oh yeah. Well,
And then
they're
my brother,
expensive though. I
he's just
get it.
and he's sitting on the stoop in front of the house, and now the guy that was like, spraying the back of our house had come around, and um I was like, my mom's like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, yeah, how did you know to go to the back of my house? And he's like, I was in bed and I was sleeping, and when I woke up, he goes, I had this feeling that there was a problem at your house, and something told me to get the hose and go to your house.
Wow.
He's like, I didn't know. I didn't. He says, so he goes, I thought maybe Jesus was talking to me or something, And he's like, so I come to your house, and that's why I ask you, where's your hose? And then I go to the back, and I saw that there was fire, and so I tried putting it out. He goes, but the fire. He goes, your windows were shattering at me. And he says, and so I went to some of the shattered windows, and I started just trying to spray the water. And so, and then my brother, who was just like a hysterical mess, I'm like trying to calm my brother down. And my brother is like, my leg hurts. And I look, and he had second and third degree burns, it turns out, on his leg, because when he was getting a glass of orange juice, he saw the fire out of the corner of his eye, and he tried to put it out himself by stomping on it. So he went in there and he tried stomping on it, but we had a vinyl cover to our pool table. Well, the cover had melted into liquid, so when he stomped the fire, the liquid vinyl flew
Oh,
on his leg and thus burning his leg. And so his leg was on fire. So he says he remembers from school you're supposed to stop, drop, and roll. So he stopped, drop, and he says, I'm rolling, and the fire wasn't going out, so I had to use my hands. So he burned his hands too. And so he's like, it's all my fault. And I said, how's the fire your fault? Like, you were getting orange juice. That's not your fault. And he said, no, grandma told me last night that to get you to wake up early. And I said, oh, you're talking to grandma's ghost again? And he's like, yeah. He says, that's why I called you last night. But then grandma said she was going to go talk to you. So that's why I said, never mind. And I was
wow.
like, oh. And he says, yeah, after she went to me, she went into your room and she was trying to tell you. And I said, is that why I had a feeling like something bad was going to happen? He's like, well, she came into my room and I was like scared. And she's like, don't be scared. She says, but it's very important that you wake your sister up early tomorrow. Something bad is going to happen in your house. And
Wow.
he's like, so I'm sorry, I forgot to wake you up earlier. It's all my fault. He says, we probably could have avoided all of this if I just would have remembered what grandma said. And I was like, no, it's not your fault. Like, seriously, like you're 10 years old, okay? I'm like,
Yeah.
like, this is not your fault. I was trying to, but he felt like it was all his fault. But when we finally got to come back to the house later, and we asked questions, like, because it was weird inside our house. Not only was it black everywhere and like these like black cobwebs, it's kind of weird. But like there's this picture of my great grandmother, made out of like that old timey type picture stuff where it's like got a bubble frame, and that didn't burn. Like the fire burned around it and didn't burn.
Wow. So
The
cool.
blinds in the house were melted, but in the middle, there was a bookcase where most everything in the bookcase burned except for a plastic picture frame of my brother and I. That was fine. In the place where there was the fire, like the whole room was on fire. Everything was like burnt to a crisp. I had my Barbie dolls. I had my, it was my Ken and my Barbie, like it was for like the 96 Olympics or something. So they were ice skaters. And I left them on the pool table that burned. Um, they were not touched at all. Like, I still have those Barbies, by the way, because I was like in shock. Like, my Barbies didn't burn, pictures of us didn't burn, everything else burned. Like, everybody else's pictures burned except for my brother and I, like our great grandmother. Her picture was fine. And we asked the fire department, like, what causes that? And they said, oh, there's these things called hot spots. And so different hot spots in your home could like really heat up. And you just happen to be lucky that everything that you love didn't burn, other than like everything else. And we're like, that's quite the coincidence. And part of the roof fell, blocking all of like my dad's like old albums and stuff from his father. So like if the roof didn't collapse there, all of that would have been gone. And my dad would have been like totally depressed because he doesn't have much left from his father. And so so it was like kind of interesting, on that one, and even my brother, he still feels guilty about that, which I'm like, dude. So my brother's like 33 now. I'm
Well, you
like,
need to clean that block from him because that's stopping him from creating all the things in his life. You know that, right? It's
yeah,
a block. It's a block that he's
he's
carrying.
got a lot of
But
guilt.
going back to you, like you definitely have angels and you have your grandmother, and they're all protecting you. Most people would say, "Oh, it's just like like the fire department. Oh, it's just little things." But real, you were being protected. They're so powerful that they watch over you and they protect you and they make sure you don't get hurt. But in your brother's case, he's carrying this block of this guilt that needs to be the cord. You know how to do cord cuts?
Yeah,
Give him a cord cut on that.
yeah, I would probably have to do that without him knowing, because
Oh no,
otherwise, like,
no, no, no! You have to ask his permission. Never do anything like that without their permission.
I tell him, swearing on you or something. He's like, no, because now it's so weird. Okay, so my little brother, he was Mr. Like, he would see spirits literally with his eyes. Like, he saw spirits, he would see orbs, he would talk to energies. And my father made fun of him for it because, okay, so my dad is like Mr. Macho,
Yeah.
Mr. Machismo. He's like, um, like that's just how my dad was raised. Kind of a Mexican Filipino household and stuff like that. So my dad would make fun of my brother. And then after like all of this stuff, my brother decided he was going to shut it down because he was like, basically being able to see all this stuff only gets me made fun of. It only gets me in trouble. So he learned the best way to block it out was to drink a lot. So my brother does drink a lot now because it's the only way to quiet, you know.
And that's what I meant with the programs. And that goes what's happening to your brother. It happens to most of the people on the planet. Um, and you see, you and I, we don't care. They call me crazy. I don't care.
Right.
This is who I am, right? But most of the people do care what others think about them.
Mhm.
And your brother's one, so he shut himself down that way. But
Mhm.
hopefully, but he has to want to. The only thing is, it has to be the person. They have to be the ones who want to change this and wants to go back and wake up to the original them. So
Mhm.
you can't do any work on them unless you have their permission. Remember that. Trust me on that one. It's not a good karma. Even though you think you're doing something good, it's not good because you're going into their energy field without the permission. It's like somebody coming to your home. We're
Mhm.
gonna clean your house, and you're half naked. They go, "What are you doing in my house?" "Oh, we thought we clean your house," and you're like, "I didn't give you permission for that," right? You see what I mean? So, and it is about it actually, believe it or not, you think you're doing something good, and I know a lot of people. The reason I brought it up, and I bring it's for your own good, okay, guys. It's a karma thing. It will bounce to you in a bad way, even though if you think you're doing something good. So don't do it, okay? Unless you get his permission. That thought I'd tell you that for I know we love sending. I learned the hard way too. Love to heal and send healing to other people. They don't want it. If they don't want it, it will be rejected and it will come bounce back at you and kick you like the waves kick you. And I don't want that.
Well, Rob was talking about cutting energetic cards. Does it help me to heal from divorce? And other people were asking, like, could you reawaken gifts? And for me, that's true because just as my brother has closed his down, although not completely, because my grandmother's still trying to contact him and like she's trying to help him. I know, that it's not scary, but he still sees it as scary or bad or wrong. Whereas me, I had tried to deny it when I was younger, even though there was stuff that I knew was going on. I was just trying to pretend it wasn't there, because I wanted to be one of the cool kids. Not that I was ever a cool kid. I was still still a nerd. So, but um, I didn't decide till I don't know, probably, when I was probably about after I almost drowned was when I started just, like, reopening
Mhm,
everything. It didn't
mhm,
just open right away like a
mhm.
Pandora's box, but it was, like, little by little, and, like, now it's picking up momentum and speed now, but, yeah, you can definitely open it back up just
Yes,
like you think
yes.
you can shut it down, you can open it, so
It is I was there. I was there. It's up to you if you want to. That's why I have my mistress school to help people who wants to elevate themselves and remember who they are. And that's why also doing core cuts and doing aura cleansing because you cleanse
Mhm,
there's holes in there or negative energies from others. When you cleanse that, you are on your own. So there's work that you can do if you want to work and remember. And this goes for everybody. The point is you have to want to open that door. We close, a lot of us have closed that door to who we truly are because of the programs. Your brother, by the way, I see your brother will open his door
mhm,
around maybe when he's 44 years old. I have a feeling that's what I just was told right now. Could
mhm.
be earlier, but at the age of 44, let me know. And you'll see he's going to start probably coming to you and asking you to help him to connect again back to himself.
Mhm.
That should make
Because now when he talks about it, he sounds like our father, where when I'm talking about, "Oh, and I usually always have my tarot cards on me. He's like, "Oh, man, you still into that stuff? Oh, man, that's crazy." I was like,
you,
"Okay," says the guy who sees ghosts.
but deep inside he's dying. That he's fighting this because deep inside he's not. Again, the blocks are making him not completely 100% happy because he knows
Mhm,
about his gift and he sees you and he's like, "Oh, I wish I could be like her and I can be open like that." But because of what he's accepting to
mhm.
stop him, but one day he's gonna go hell with this. I'm gonna be myself. Hell with all these programs, and then he's gonna free himself. You watch. You watch. You remember me.
How to like, whatever you think a stereotypical tough guy looks like, that's what my brother puts on. It's like he wears a costume, and it's
They
not
do.
him. Like, my brother is the most sensitive, like, sweetest, like, dorky little boy. I mean, I still see him as a little boy in my mind. Like, I don't see him as my 33-year-old brother. Like, he's in my brain, I still see, like, the 7-year-old. Like, that's how he's forever. Like, when I dream, he's always 7 years old in my mind.
And it's
Um,
funny because the toughest that you see him, he's got a beautiful heart, by the way. Zach can tap from here,
oh,
and
yeah,
he's
my
got a
brother's, like,
beautiful.
super sweet, but he tries to put this, like,
Yeah,
he's got the tattoos,
yeah.
just to look tough. He put on all this weight. He's normally like we're like a really skinny guy, but he like put on like he forces himself to put on lots of weight so that he looks tough, so that people don't mess with him.
You know what? It's
Shave his
funny.
head, try to look, as like hardcore as possible. And that's like not my brother. And I'm like, dude, who are you trying to be?
You know what freaks me out with all this because I see you and I feel like a version of you or me when I wasn't that age, and your brother is my brother at that age. Like it's like and I just went through a moment right now. Am I really talking to somebody? Or am I going back here to am I like it's so cool how you're saying all these things because I do my younger brother exactly like your brother, same thing with the tattoos and all that. Now he passed earlier, but he knew he was going to too. He was very gifted, but he was and to the point that same like your brother, like tough guy, and but inside great heart and basically a teddy bear inside, right? A sweet teddy bear, but they're trying to leave this front. I don't know why they get themselves into that. But and your brother, I knew my brother wasn't going. He started talking to me about different things just before he passed,
Mhm.
and he sent me a really weird text. He was younger than me. Remember that, okay? Like by 10 years younger than me. It's like whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
But
my brother's got 6 years. He's
kind
6
of
years.
like yeah, you see, kind of like that. And so you usually expect you to go first, but he went into his sleep. He just fell asleep and that's it. But the thing is this the fact that towards the end he was starting to talk weird things like saying I love you very much, kind of like
Mhm.
he knew, kind of like he knew. and he used to tell me, I don't like how he wasn't happy because he couldn't be himself. And
Mhm.
so, but I told him, you don't have to live the life their way. You can change. But they are so stubborn and so, closed up sometimes that they won't. But in your brother case, I do see him actually saying, hell with this. I'm going to be myself. I do see him that happening with him, which is blessings to you, honestly. Good. You'll get to see the him back, definitely. And
Yeah.
you help.
I
You're
need
gonna
my
help.
brother back.
You're gonna help him. He's
You
gonna,
know
but
what's interesting about
he's
our
gonna come to you.
difference? We've always said this since we were kids that we have like this weird age difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're born in the 6th month. We're both born in June. He's born on June 4th. I'm born on June 10th. So we're 6 days
Wow.
apart. But we're also 6 years apart and we're 6 minutes apart. So he was born at 5:07 p.m. and I was born at 5:01 p.m. You know,
Wow.
so he says, he would always say, he goes, you and I are like twins. He's all, we're 6 minutes, 6 days, 6 years apart.
That's cool. That's so cool. I'm half Latina too, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hablo español, sí. So funny how that story is. You see, like I'm excited to see when he comes to you and ask you to help him guide. And the way he's gonna ask to you is very very casual too. It's not gonna be straightforward. He's gonna start asking you more questions about, so how do you do this? Like he's gonna be cool about, oh, let's cool, let's see those cards or stuff like that, right? But know that those are actually kind of a way of his way to ask to help him guide you. So you be cool with him when he start asking you questions and all that. And so yeah, don't say, oh, well, now if you go into the, oh, so now you care about, no, don't go like that. Go, oh, that, yeah, and you play along with him. Is that the first thing that we do is, oh, oh, the one who tough guy. Now you want to know what this is, Don't do that because that will push him back into the locking himself. But like, oh yeah, look at the cards. Look how cool it is. And you open the cards and you show it to them, and then pull one that is, connected. Look, that looks like you, or something like that, and connect him to a card, and then let him see it and guide him that way. I thought I had to tell you that because he will come that way. You see, you watch.
Yeah, and as you guys know, I always have like a bazillion stories, but I have another story for you guys connected with my brother and my grandmother.
Cool.
So okay, um, whenever my brother would connect with my grandmother, he would physically see her, and he would tell me about it, when we were younger. And sometimes when she would appear wearing the dress that she was buried in, but my brother said it freaked him out, so she would wear clothes that he would more be okay with. And sometimes she appeared much younger than my brother would actually remember her. And so there was that. And whenever my grandmother would visit me, it was always in my dreams. And I told her that I was always more comfortable talking in my dreams because I didn't know about how I felt yet about connecting with spirit outside of my waking life or sleeping life. So there was it was like a series of like 2 or 3 dreams. I think it was 3 that led up to where my grandmother finally said that I would no longer dream of her anymore. And this was just before we moved into the house that I'm in right now, which was about 7 years ago. Actually, July 13th, 7 years ago is when we bought this house. So anyway, I had this dream while I was with my boyfriend that I'm with now, the dude. We were in our old apartment, and I have this dream that I'm sitting on the edge of our bed in the apartment, and I look up, and there's like some black smoke or whatever in the corner of the room, but I'm not scared in my dream because I know it's my grandmother. And I was like, "Oh, hey, grandma!" And all of a sudden, she was sitting next to me on the bed, and then I forget what we talked about. But then all of a sudden, we are in the middle of the street, which I now know is the street that I live on, but we hadn't even gone house hunting at this point. So I didn't even know this house existed yet. So we're on this street on Hamishaw, and it's very white, like bright, 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 bright light. And I know that there's thousands of people standing behind her, but it's like their faces are glowing and I can't make individual features. Just I know they're people. And she's standing in front of them all. And she tells me, she's like, "Oh, baby," she says, "I am so proud of you." And she says, "And you know that, I and everybody else, we're always watching over you. We'll always watch over you and your brother. We always will." She says, "But I've come to tell you that you're not going to dream of me anymore." And I was like, "Why?" And she says, "Because you don't need me anymore." And I was like, "Oh, what? Okay." But I was like kind of okay with it. I was like, "Oh, all right, grandma." And she's like, "So," she says, "but I'm still gonna watch over your brother a little bit more. I'm still gonna visit him." She goes, "I think your brother needs a little bit more help." So she says, "I'm gonna stay with him, but just know that this will be the last dream you have of me." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "All right, well, see you later, grandma." And so that really was the last dream I've had. And I actually called my brother to tell him about it. And my brother was like, uh, okay, then I have to share this with you, even though I think you're kind of crazy. But so I was just chilling on my couch, right? And my phone started playing, he has Pandora on his phone, and it just started playing music randomly. Like I had my phone off. And and so I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of weird." So I turned it off. And he says, and then I started smelling grandma's perfume. You know how she had that orangey perfume? It smells like oranges. He's like, I smelt it. And he's all, uh, and I was like, "Grandma, go away. I don't need you. Go away." Oh, bye,
That-
Bluebell. But yeah, so it was like that same night where she was like, "You're not going to hear from me." So then I'm telling my boyfriend on my way home from work, "Hey, I had this cool dream last night." He was already home, and he's like, "Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh there's something I have to show you when you get home." And I was like, "What is it?" He says, "When I came home after you left for work," he goes, "every cabinet and every door in the house is open."
Wow.
It was like, so, and this is back when my boyfriend was very skeptical. I mean, he still is, but
You
living with
just
me for so long, he's a little more open to things. So, he's like, "Uh, nobody broke in, I double checked, nothing's been stolen, and you have this weird dream. I don't know what to think." So, yeah, that was, like, kind of a coincidence, like, my boyfriend comes home to all of that, I have this crazy dream, and my brother, like, smells my grandmother, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. And people who don't believe, they go, "Oh, this they really get scared."
One of the dreams I had, it was like it's probably like the second to last dream I had of my grandmother. We were actually in my old house, the house I grew up in, and the house is empty in my dream. Everything's been moved out, so there's no furniture or anything except for my parents' bed in the middle of their bedroom. And so
Wow.
everything's dark in the house in my dream, but there's like a spotlight on my parents' bed, and that's where my grandma is hanging out. Like we're gonna have a slumber party, kind of like we're having right now.
Yeah.
But she's on the bed, and I was like, "Hey, grandma." And we're talking, and she asked me, she said, "How do you feel about talking to me outside of dreams?" And I said, "I don't think I'm ready for that yet, grandma." And she said, "But why? Why is it so easy for you to talk to me when you're dreaming, but when you wake up, you'd be scared out of your mind?" And I said, "Well, because I went to your funeral and because I saw you dead, like, and I saw you in the hospital. I saw you die. Like, I was like, I don't think I can deal with, like, it would be like a zombie, actually. I was like, I can't see you die and then see you awake. Like, that would kind of freak me out when I woke up." And she's like, "Oh, I see." She says, "Okay, well, how about this?" And she disappears, but I can faintly hear her talking. She says, "I want to try to talk to you when you can't see me." And I said, "No, no, I'm not ready for that yet either, grandma. No." And I said, "Because you know that cousin Selena had schizophrenia. I would fear that I also have auditory schizophrenia. So I don't want to hear spirits. Like, I don't want to do none." And she's like, "Okay, I understand." And she says, "How about this?" And she turned into my mother, who I do not have a great relationship with. And I was like, what are you doing? She says, what if I spoke to you through your mom? And I was like, I don't, okay, no offense, but I don't get along with your daughter. Like, I said, I don't have a great relationship. And she was like, I understand. And so then she was back on the bed, just being my grandma again. And it was like, we're just having like a slumber party with like two girls and we're just hanging out. And she was like, so, and I said, Grandma, while we're having this conversation, you have to answer some questions for me because now I said, I'm awake enough in this dream to know that I'm dreaming, number one. And I said, and number two, I said, do you know the future? And she says, of course I do. And I was like, okay, cool. I have some questions. And I was like, I said, first of all, why do you know the future? And she says, because we all do. She says, you do too, but we all do. She goes, all spirits know. She goes, and everybody's spirit. Some people have bodies, some people don't. So of course we know the future. And there's thousands of different futures too, by the way. And I was like, okay, uh, is my boyfriend ever going to propose to me? Because like we've been dating for like a really long time, and like he never is proposing. And she just started laughing, and she's like, "You know what, sweetheart?" She's all, "Me, your grandfather, everybody, we love him so much. Like he cracks us up with his like dry sense of humor and the way that he looks at things. Like we love him. He's the perfect fit for you, and that's all you should know about right now." And I was like, "All right." And I was like, "And everybody's always pressuring me to have kids, and I don't think I want to have kids and all of that." And she says, "Girl, until you have the cake, you don't have to worry about muffins." And I was like, uh, I don't know what that means. And she's like, you'll learn. And I was like, okay. Um, and then, uh, and then, oh gosh, we were talking about something else. And then she said, oh, she had to go because she said she looked at her watch because she was wearing a watch for some reason. She's like, um, in about 2 minutes, your alarm's going to go off. And I hope you have a great day at work. And I was like, no, I have something to ask you. I don't want to go to work yet. I don't want to wake up. And I was like, okay. I said, haha, I remembered now. I'm supposed to ask you. And I keep forgetting every time I'm asleep. What is the meaning of life? I was like, ah, I got you. And she started laughing and she was like, Tara, if I told you, what would be the point of living? And I was like, damn. I was like, Grandma, can't you, why are you gonna do that? I was like, okay, I was like, okay, you gotta tell me which religion got it right. And she was like, nobody got it right.
Nobody.
Everybody got it right, but they all didn't get it right. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense either. Everybody's right, but everybody's not right. And she says, everybody's close. She goes, but that's all they gotta be. She goes, everybody has to have their beliefs and their religions, and it's not right for anybody to change those beliefs and religions. She goes, unless they want to. She goes, but in essence, nobody has it right, but then they also have it right. If you, she goes, you'll understand what I mean later. And I was like, okay. So like I said, because obviously I was brought up Catholic. So I was like, is there like Jesus and God and like all that stuff? And she was like, think of a giant ball of energy. That is us. She goes, I guess you can call it God. You can call it whatever you want. She goes, but it's us. And she goes, I'm attached to it. You're attached to it. Everybody's attached to it. And she says, and the reason I can be here talking with you, but I can also be with your brother, and I can also be with your mother, and I can also be with your grandfather. I can be everywhere at once is because if she says we all share a consciousness. And so the minute somebody knows something, we all know something. She goes,
Mhm.
somebody
True.
sees something, we all see something. She goes,
Very
we
true.
all know everything that we all know. Like together, we all know it. And she says, so I know what you're thinking right now because you're connected to it too. And I was like, whoa, it's kind of trippy. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for all that, Grandma, but that was pretty cool. And she was like, so that's in a nutshell. She goes, that's really simplified, but for you to understand, just think ball of energy, everybody's connected. And she goes, that's why somebody can see a spirit over here, but the spirit's also here. She goes, we can be anywhere we want and we can like multiply as much as we want.
It's
So,
very true.
and she was like, but anyway, she's all the alarm's about to go off. Don't forget, she goes, there's a little girl who, she had an accident with her family. You're going to see her at school today. I did actually. There was a girl that had an accident that talked to me that day at school.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. So that was that was my second to last dream with my grandmother, and that was her telling me about life after death. So
We're gonna
there.
tell you one thing. Yeah, girl, everything she told you is the truth. I got my own experience, which I'm not allowed to talk about it because I woke up. Okay, so I woke up where I wasn't supposed to wake up. Okay, and I was supposed to forget when I come back. That
Mhm.
that waking up was only for people when you die. That's only when you die you will see a lot of truth and you're gonna laugh. Okay, so there's no fear to be death. You don't die. You it's the vessel. Okay, but we are still unlimited beings. There's no death. It's just the vessel. It's expire. You chose when to expire your vessel. By the way, you have chose that. Um, we all jumped here because we wanted this experience. And so, but when you pass, okay, when you leave the vessel and you're not coming back, you wake up and you laugh. You'll see and you go, oh my God. And then that's how you create I'm gonna go back. I got this, I'm going back. And then the little thing that you don't realize that once you come back and you're about to born, you go, I'm gonna remember, going to remember, and you're born, I forgot everything. Play the game. Now, I woke up where I wasn't supposed to wake up. It was happened just recently. Maybe that's why I'm going through all this dizziness and all this. I'm not ready to talk about it because, like she says, if I talk about it, it will spoil everybody's life. Really spoil it. There will be no point of living. She's so right when she told you that's what she's not going to tell you, and we're not to tell you. And I was supposed to forget when I woke up. I didn't. I'm very clear. So it's making really, oh my God, knowing what I know. I know that I don't know, but this knowingness is like, holy, that's why I laughed through the whole thing. I laughed so much because, but one thing I can tell you though, like she said, hours, you create your life. You are the creator. And believe is one of the key points for us human. Believe in what you want to believe. If you believe it's going to happen wrong, it will happen wrong. If you believe it's going to happen good, it will happen good. It's your belief and you got that power. That I can tell you guys. So I know it's tough. It's not easy because, again, we got all these contradictions. Oh, okay, this is Diane just talking, and who is she, right? Or who is Tara, right? But most of the people, we're not, And again, that's another part of I work so hard on my music, I wanted to become famous, I can wake up people. Well, I was protected not to go there. I was so close many times to be out there with my music and give the messages, but I was keeping protected. Why? Because if I go out there, you notice John Lennon and all those people who were trying to help the right. So I was being protected from that. So I'm in my mission is whoever who's ready to learn, I'm here. And if it's one person, I'm grateful for that one person and I'm ready to teach that one person. Same, a lot of here in the life, there's a lot of people who also has a mission to help others. Now, don't get discouraged if you only have one or two people following you. That's okay. A lot of people get discouraged. Oh, nobody wants to listen to me or and all that. I do have some students go, well, how come nobody? It's because you're talking truth and the truth will be hidden. Okay, you will be blocked and hidden from being listened to. But the ones who truly want to wake up will come to you, and they'll come to you. Have faith that will come to you, and you'll be there to help them and guide them. Basically, you don't do it for them, but you guide them to whatever to waking up of their truth. But yes, the main thing, guys, to remember is to believe in yourself. Know that you're powerful. Now you got all the answers within yourself. And always go to your heart. Your heart will never lie to you, And so, and that it will be the truth. And so there's different methods to for those who wants to wake up and absolutely work on yourself if you want to. And yes, very possible to do so. But I'm so love that story with your grandmother. She told you everything very, 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 very truth. Like so right on. It's like, oh my God. I guess, oh my God. I love it. I totally love you. I totally love you, girl. Like honestly, hang around with that kind, like same mind kind of people. same magical world. It's so amazing, to be understood, right? Because a lot of people don't understand us. We are in some people's eyes, we're like strange beings. And going back to that, remember in the olden times, if we talk the way we do, you remember when they used to put you in a crazy home and they used to put the electroshock?
You'd be in an insane asylum, or you would be just like ousted by the church or whatever.
Yeah, or the crazy, they put you in a nut house and they put those. They will brainwash you with the shocks and brain shocks, so they will make you forget what you knew and kind of like like change you, give you pills and all that. Man, thank God we're not in that, because I think I will be one of those, put on those with a straight jacket.
What's interesting, I know that people can change, obviously, like you were saying that eventually my brother might want to come
Yeah.
around. Okay, so my dad, I've talked about Mr. Macho. He every once in a while tells stories of him when he would see spirits as a child, but he believes that only he is telling the truth and that everybody else must be a whack job. And so, but he's got this weird, like, hypocritical double standard thing. So I thought it was interesting. We had a 4th of July party at my aunt's house, and I didn't get to give my dad his 80th birthday present, and my dad didn't get to give me my birthday present, so we gave it to each other at the 4th of July party. And so my stepmom ended up getting me a tarot deck, which I thought was interesting because like, they think what I do is like nice, like, oh, that's nice, whatever it is that you do. But that's like not their thing. They're, my stepmom's a professor at the local university. She's like very level-headed. My dad's Mr. Macho. And so for them to get me a tarot deck, and then my stepmom has actually been reading up on tarot so that she could have a conversation with me, because she wanted to show like that she supports what I do. And so I thought that was really sweet. And then she said, "Oh, well, for funsies, why don't you do a reading for me?" So I did a little reading. She thought it was interesting. And then I said, I do mediumship too. Like, I talk to spirits. And she said, "You do?" And then my dad says, "You do what?" I told you before. I said, "You told me you talk to spirits, so don't get on me that you think it's weird that I do. I'm your daughter, so where do you think I got it from?" And my dad's like, "Well, your Nana," my dad's mother, he's like, "Your Nana, like, she will see spirits all the time." And I said, "Well, I know. She's the one that taught me all astrology and everything." He's like, "Yeah, but my mom was kind of crazy." And he was like, and he said, "Okay, if you can talk to spirits, who's around me right now?" And I said, "Your dad." I said, "The one that I never met," because I didn't meet my grandfather. And so he's like, "Okay, okay, well, that's interesting. I don't have any questions or anything." And so I just started telling my dad what I was seeing, and it was so awkward because I've never done that stuff with my father, because I know how my dad is. But for some reason I didn't care. I was just blah, blah, blah. I was just saying, I said some stuff in Tagalog. I don't really speak Tagalog, even though that's
Mabuti.
yeah, all I know is mabuhay, and
I go, wala pera, okay?
so like,
I lived in Philippines for a year, so I know some words.
oh, wow. Yeah, my he was from Cebu. So, he spoke Cebuano, he was Visayan and all this stuff. And he apparently used to tell my dad that they were witch doctors and they were healers and they would work with herbs. And my dad would say, "Your grandfather was crazy. He would just make stuff and he would be able to just heal people." And but he still thought it was like crazy stuff. So anyway, I told my father some stuff in Tagalog, and then I had to use Google Translate to figure out what it was that I was saying. And it was just basically, you're my first, you're my primero, like you're, and so my dad's like, "Well, of course, I'm his firstborn." And I said, "Okay, so just so you know that I don't know, obviously, that I don't know Tagalog, because it was like, you never spoke to me in it." So I was like, "But so it's your dad." And I was like, "Your dad said don't worry about the money." And it was like something about like the horse races, and there was like some other stuff. that must have been important to my dad because he stopped making jokes, which my dad is a huge joker. But then where did I get my personality? But like, he stopped joking around and he was just like, huh. He says, that's my dad. He says, and and he was saying things like, he says like, that did happen when I was little, and he was like basically confirming everything I was saying was true. And so my dad's like, so that is my dad. He
Yeah.
says, he goes, well, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how I treated you. He says, it's just mom made me hate you, and I didn't know that you weren't a bad guy. And he was like, and he says, I'm sorry for pushing you away. I'm sorry for keeping the grandkids away from you. He's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, he knows, he understands. He says that basically his father was how he turned out, and you turned out just like him. And he just
Mhm.
wants you to know that it's just a cycle. And so
Yeah.
he understands, he hated his father because, of how he treated his mother. And I said, and you hated your father because your mother hated him. And I said,
Mhm.
so it's just a cycle. And then
Mhm.
my dad's like, well, I know you have issues with me. And I was like, yeah, but you're working on your issues. So it's okay. And my dad's like, but he says, wow, wow. And then he's like, well, I need to go use the restroom. But I know it's because he was like,
Cutting you off.
my dad didn't really want to show that he was getting emotional to everybody. So he's
Yeah.
like, well, I gotta go see the head. I gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Hi.
So, and then my stepmom's like, uh, could you talk to my dad? And I was like, sure. I didn't know this 4th of July party was turning into a party, but I was like, yeah, I could talk to your dad. But it was hard to shake my grandfather to get him to shut up so that her father could come through. But I
Yeah.
finally did get her father to come through, and I kept saying, I was like, I think he was like I keep seeing boats and sailor stuff, and she says, no, he wasn't a sailor. He wasn't a sailor. I was like, I see him in a boat with just you in the middle of the lake. And she went, oh, she goes, that's what he used to do with me. We lived in Montana. And she was
Mhm.
like, and he would just take me out of all the siblings, and it would just be me and him in a rowboat in the middle of the lake. And that's where we'd have our bonding time. And then I said, and he was talking about, I was like, "Did the did geese do anything weird?" And she went, "Oh my god, after his funeral, there was these angry geese that were outside the funeral home, and they were attacking us."
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I was like, and he's also talking about, like, dogs walking in a row, like, dog after dog, and she went, "And that's another thing." She goes, "When I was growing up, after he passed, dogs started coming to our house, random dogs, and so I ended up having all of these dog friends, like, living on our farm."
Ooh, I love
And
it.
she was like, "Oh my god." So I told her all this other stuff, and so when I was all done, because I figured I was, like, pretty toast because I was, like, helping, like, a lot of people that night. Everybody decided they were all of a sudden interested in tarot and all of that. Um, like, all these ladies, they're like, "Oh, I'm Christian, but this looks really interesting. Tell me about tarot." Like,
A lot of people are waking up and starting to realize there's more, and it's not what they're being brainwashed with, which
mhm.
is good. And it's good. It's so nice to know when your family's doing that. It's your own family's
And I
like,
was like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "This is the coolest thing ever." Like, number
it
1, my
is.
dad's not making fun of me, my stepmom's not making fun of me. Like, I got these
And you
little
got tarot cards from it too.
yeah,
Girl, I can't stop.
awesome deck of cards, like
I have so many tarot cards that keep. I do have the same issue, like a collection of tarot cards. Some of them I don't even use them, okay? But I have so many. I gotta stop this. Why do we do that? They're so cute, but some of them you have to have them. It's like, oh man,
they're pretty. I'm very visual, so
me too, me too. And the ones that you showed, oh my god, I'm like, stop showing. I love. Oh my god, I gotta have that too. I gotta have that too. I do have my charms too. It's funny how I used to do my charm. I've been collecting my charms, and I stopped using them for a while. They wanted a rest, and out of a sudden, just this year, they came out again. And that's they came out because I found you guys again. I found you through the charm girl, like I go, my God, like, and she's into the tea thing. I do add the fairy tea and all that stuff. And like, oh my God, I love what she did with her video the last time she created that table. That was a lot of work. Oh my God, that was a lot of work, but it's so beautiful. Well done. And and that's, I found you too. Like, oh, there's a reason why the charms wanted to come out, because I'm not good at this, posting my stuff on the pages. I'm learning now with the I used to do all this live with people really in front of me.
Mhm.
So with all this lockdown, I'm pushing myself into being more live on Facebook and here. And so, but I'm not good at it. Okay, like I'm learning, and so I don't even know what to put on so people can find you, because if people don't know who you are, they'll never get the good message, right? So
Mhm.
I'm like, what I put in that? That's how I found charms. And then she talked about, and of course, I stopped and I'm listening and I'm watching, and she knows how to, you know, enchant you, and you're like watching. And then she talked about you, and I, well, let me go check her out. And then, oh, Kathy, Kitten, okay, oh my God, I love this girl. So definitely in that, here we're talking. I'm so happy that I actually made it happen. I almost didn't made it because if my head was still turning, I wouldn't have been able to even talk to you. But I found out how to, something to do with the ear and some exercise to do.
Mm.
So whatever this dizziness, something to do with the ear, something, and some exercise too. I will share that video with you, because you never know when you need that. And again, it was just after all, like you, and you just made it clear that it was after a day that I was connecting and downloading. I connected to Galactic Federation.
Mhm.
I connected to all kinds of things that night, that I think I was all over the place. And I was like, "Wee, cool, man! Oh man,
I
I
don't
swear."
know if you get this, but okay, you know how there's everybody that's in our chat right now. There's Susie and Sophie and Jillifer and all our homies there. But lately, I say lately is in the past week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, let's go 3 weeks. Um, in my dreams, like you guys are starting to show up in my dreams, along with the people that I'm friends with on YouTube, like Maha from Maha's Treasure Box. Um, other people I know like are starting to seep into my dreams, but we're not having weird. I mean, all my dreams are weird, but like we're all doing the same thing together, and it's whenever everybody's in my dreams, we're always doing the same dream. Like it's always the same kind of dream. So like last night I was dreaming that you guys know James from Light of Riga, and there was like a few other people I know on YouTube, and there was like these monsters or something, and we were literally battling monsters. And so
Mhm,
I do
mhm.
dream of you guys. Like I
Yes.
have no idea what many of you look like, but whatever my brain thinks you look like you guys show up in my dreams, and we're always like doing stuff together. We're like battling stuff together. So
True.
you guys are in my dreaming state.
We're being needed to be together, as we're like-minded. We're doing the same kind of mission, helping this planet to elevate. And the more we do this fun together, this is all we need to do. Have fun together, and we're elevating that frequency on the planet. So yeah, definitely your dreams are saying we're getting connected. And I need, guys, I'm very slow, so do connect with me so I can know who you are, because I'm very slow at this. um I'm terrible, okay? So not until I'm so glad I managed to come here with you. But I was
Oh,
really
thank
excited
you.
to be here with you. But you've been there all this time, all 3 years until now. Hello there. Because again, I'm learning how to use the internet and all that. I used to be a lot live, real, like
Mhm.
I have my students here and all that. So I'm glad that this is beautiful, one way that we can actually connect from all over the world. And when we do this kind of things here together, some on the chat, and we're here, we together, are talking, we're having fun. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do major things to elevate the frequency. What we did, we're doing, canceling the negative, and we're connecting and respecting each other for who we are, and giving the love, and enthusiastic, and giving also the push. Yeah, you can do this.
Mhm.
Nobody's here. Nobody's. I would say nobody's better than nobody. Each of us have their own gift. There's no competition. And then when people start getting jealous and all that, that's wrong. No, it's no, everybody has their own gifts. And there's no such thing as competition. There's plenty for everybody. But when we do this together, we actually elevating that frequency with togetherness. And that we need to do this together. That again, we think we're separate, but we're one. Where each of us are a little piece of puzzle of the big puzzle. Okay, so each of us fit in perfectly to create the one, which is all of us, and that's why your dreams. Okay, that's why, because you're on the we meet in the astro, and we talk in the, believe it or not, we meet in the astro. When we sleep, a lot of times we don't remember. Okay, you remember your dreams. Some people don't remember their dreams.
Oh,
But we don't fall asleep. Yeah, we don't fall asleep. We actually go astral travel, and we meet in the astral. We go planning. Okay, we're gonna do this, and we plan to meet. Okay, and so I feel that what happened to me yesterday is also a curveball, because we're also, like you said, we're battling a lot of energies. So when we are in this mission, we're gonna get stones thrown at us. Believe it or not, be prepared. I always do your protection.
mhm.
Okay, but the stones will be thrown at us all the time. I think for me also, the part of me being the dizziness, that was odd. I'm a very healthy person. That never happened to me. And out of a sudden, it was a curveball to stop me from coming here to you. Okay. So, well, okay, I look like a wreck, and I'm not going to bring an ugly face to you guys. So I brought you the little Betty Bunny. Betty Bunny's cute. Okay. Wee! Hello there, guys. Hello, my Betty Bunny. But I will definitely, the next time I'll be more. I feel better, but honestly, I really, it's still like pale and all that. It's like I'm not doing, but it was trying to stop me from it. Okay, and I say, you know what? No. And then the fact that my computer wouldn't get through here. Remember, I had to go. I had to go through Firefox, and I managed to download it. I managed to do it, and of course, this is the part what tells you, don't let the energy stop you on your journey. Go do, if you feel in your heart that you need to do. And I was looking forward for today. Okay, I'm going no. And then so when you heart tells you to do something, you will, they will try to stop you, the energy, and you go, who are they? The frequencies. We're getting bombarded. And actually, I don't know if you noticed, the past week we've been bombarded with energies of feeling grumpy, angry. I don't know if some people, maybe not you because we're protected, but you got people grumpy at you, snappy,
Okay.
snap.
Snap, snap. Music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That it won't affect me, but some people who are not being affected by that are not listening to the music or not will snap at you or something. I got a lot of people trying to snap at me and like, okay, have a good day. And I went into my music and my little fairyland and all that. But I noticed, because I do have students and I deal with students and some of them were snappy, and I go, guys, control that. That's the energies downloading on you, trying to make you feel snappy. And so and so, but people don't know about the frequencies, music. It's very, we are I don't know if your grandmother told you, but when she is in the other side, and that other side, they're constantly listen, there's constantly music sounds. I don't know if you ever told you that, right? There's
When I'm
constantly,
there, all I do is hear music.
yeah, yeah. And because music, guys, sing to yourself. That was one of the channeling I heard. Sing to yourself, even there's no, but whenever you feel that, sing a happy song to yourself, and you feel we are frequencies.
You know, we have we have the Om sanctuary. It just plays the Oms like
Mhm,
24/7, and we
mhm,
have it in our
mhm.
master closet in our bedroom because there's a giant portal in there, and there's a lot of stuff that's come through there. So we have this Om thing. Well, back when we first got the house, is probably like, well, maybe not 7 years ago, but if we go back like maybe 5 years, 5 or 6 years, um, I'm laying in bed and I had to get up for work, but I could hear the ohms playing, but then I could hear music playing through the ohms.
Yes.
You could hear the ohm, and then there was this other music, and it was so beautiful, and it was like you're straining to hear it though. I was like trying to be as still and as quiet as possible because it was like the sound was going in and out, and I couldn't hear it that well over the music that was actually playing through the stereo. And so Brian, my boyfriend, was like, sleeping, and I'm like trying to get him not to wake up because then I won't be able to hear the rest of it. And I'm hearing it and I'm hearing it. And I think I got the rhythm of it. And then he finally woke up and I was like, "Do you hear um the music in the music?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, never mind." So then I went on my phone, and since I'm an opera singer, I keep a keyboard on my cell phone. It's like a little app so that I could always be on pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I decide to play what I heard on the little keyboard piano and save it. Um, and and it wasn't saving. So then I went to you got your whatever dictation thing that you
Mm-hmm.
can do on the phone, and I'm trying to audio record. And I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
audio record myself humming it. So I
Mm-hmm.
hum it, and the phone is refusing to save it. And it's like my phone is like whacking out and it like won't save and it's like freaking out. And I was like, what is this? Because it was like, this really beautiful tune.
Yeah.
So I was trying to remember it all day. So I'm humming it like all day long because my phone like literally won't save this song.
Mhm.
And I get to my boyfriend's parents' house. This is back when his like mother was still alive, so she had her player piano, and
Mhm.
I decided to play it on the piano and record it with my phone. And after a little while, the phone finally recorded it. So, oh, you know what? I can play it for you guys because I have my phone. All
Awesome. Let me
right.
hear a little bit.
So I recorded it. This is the song I heard in the song. Let's see if I can find it.
Putting a little bit on for you guys while you will find it.
That's not it. Where's my audio? Oh, bedroom piano. Okay, I
Perfect
don't know if
time.
you guys will be able to hear it, but I have the sound cranked.
Let's hear it. Love it. I have hummed that like la 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 la
That
la
was that was the music that came through. Oh, I played it on the piano, but that's literally what came through
I
our
love
player.
yeah. There you go, girl. Like no coincidences at all. Honestly, it's beautiful. La, 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 la.
It was just so pretty, and it was like I don't know, it was like being in heaven. It was like, oh, it's so pretty.
You can hum it to yourself. Hum that to yourself every day, and it will just elevate you. It's beautiful, beautiful. And it's again, the universe is constantly playing music. But again, there's different. Okay, so the out there media has music with the wrong encodings, and so find the music with the right encodings, the right frequencies to elevate you. So it is. That's a secret right there that not many people knows about it. That frequencies are very powerful. It really, really, really powerful. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I'm all about music. I have bowls and I have chalices and I got pyramids singing constantly, drums and uh, come to my house and we'll play different instruments. Everybody will have an instrument playing.
Oh, sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, yeah. And I constantly play bells. And I have the little, I
Yeah,
constantly.
we got instruments all over the house. We have like I forget what you call it, but we have one of those oval things that you play. It's kind of like a xylophone, but it's like a hollow oval thing.
Yeah, I have the UFO.
I have Tibetan singing bowls. I have a glass singing, like a crystal singing bowl.
I have
I
a
have my
chalice. You want to?
I
Let me
have a
go get the chalice. Let me show you guys my chalice. I'll be right back.
oh,
I have a gold chalice. It's so cool. Let's go.
I have my acoustic guitar.
I do have this one here. Hear that? Oh my God! I have the UFO too. You know the UFO?
No,
I think that's the one that you're talking about. It looks like a UFO. It's huge. I'm gonna bring the
it
chalice.
looks like a UFO, but it's got like cutouts in it.
This is a chalice.
Ooh,
Yeah. Want to hear?
sure. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I love the designs.
Oh, I know. Let me do that.
Did you know that my last name, if it's when it's translated into English, is Egypt. So
I am okay. So I'm very. Look at you, girl. Look, I tell you, I'm very connected to Egypt. A lot of Egyptian energy over here. Oh my goodness, isn't that cool? You see again, we're getting. Well, there's the Ankh. I don't know if you can see the Ankh there. See the position I'm here is kind of there's the Ankh. Let me put it back. I'm gonna put it back. I just thought I'd give you guys a little tune there. So
cool. Alrighty. I'm looking at the time and we've been on for over 3 hours. I've never had a live chat that's been over 3 hours.
God, it's because when you're
Oh my
having
god.
fun, you know what happens when you're having fun?
Ooh, that's pretty. I love the sound of wind chimes.
You know what? When we're having fun, time flies because we just went into the fairyland energy, and so time flew, man. I know. I can't believe we were all this time together. Wow.
So what I was thinking, because I know people gotta have their whatever you guys gotta do for Saturday. Um, but I never like to leave my chats without like doing a reading for everybody and doing a healing. And so, Diane, since you're here, you could do the reading with me,
Okay.
and we could do the healing together.
Alright.
Sophie had a question though. She was asking you, what are your thoughts on Lemuria and Pleiades and such?
To whom? To you or to me?
She was asking you.
Oh, they are out there. They're helping us. If you feel connection to them, do connect to them. But they are out there to help us. That's for sure. If that's my feelings about them, I do connect with them, and I do also do channeling with them. And sometimes I do when I do the gypsy show. I have channeled the Galactics quite a bit, and they do come with their names and they tell the person their message, what they need to hear. But if you feel connected to them, by all means, do follow through, do learn about it, because obviously, if you feel connected to them, there's one of them watching over you, or you could be one of them as well, without even knowing that you're one of them. So yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. One thing I need to tell you guys is that outside this world there's people thinks there's groups, right? There's the Pleiadians. They all are, but they all work together. They are one. They're not separated like we think they are. They work to the angels and the Pleiadians and the Galactics. They're all one. They all help, like your grandmother said. I love your grandmother message, was so right on. They're all one. They're not separating like we are. Only this planet we're all separated, but again, that shouldn't be that way. The more we connect to each other, we don't even need to talk to each other to understand each other, to be honest. That's how powerful we are. Good.
So I have a couple of decks, and I know that Diane's probably going to use her Alice Tarot or the Dame Darcy. But I am going to use the one I got for my birthday, so my Dream Keepers, and I'm going to use my Oracle deck that, if you guys don't know, I made an Oracle deck. This is my Wally's World.
You did. I gotta go check it out. Gee, you see? I'm
So,
gonna
yeah,
use.
if you guys are interested, I guess I'll do my own little plug. Like, just go to my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com.
Yeah, absolutely,
But yeah,
absolutely.
so I always like this one for like to use as a theme card along with a tarot reading. Like for me, that just kind of works pretty good.
Cool.
So I'm gonna pull a card from here and a few cards from the Dream Keepers, and then Diane will pull some cards too. And the question's just like a message that is really important for anybody to hear, either anybody who's in the chat now or anybody who listens to this like later in the future, so
Okay.
a message that's like super important like right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, well, the card that flew out I think is going to be our card.
What do we need to know? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Tell me, what does everybody need to know today? What is the message? What do they need to know? Alrighty.
Okay. Then let me turn these over. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. First card is this one here, card number 33, which I've been seeing a lot of threes lately. But this is from our own Sherry Bug. This is a picture that she took. And this was in, I think, Oahu, Hawaii. And this is beautiful, beautiful, like grandmother tree. And actually, I photoshopped my little cat right
Oh, that's so beautiful.
under the tree. The cards, the tarot cards we have, which this deck has been shuffled a lot because I've used it ad nauseum since I got it for my birthday. But I have the King of Pentacles, I have the Queen of Pentacles, and then I have Death.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome. So give me a second to put these. Okay, so what I'm getting, especially with the grandmother tree, and I've been talking about my grandmother, and actually I've been talking about my grandparents quite a bit. But they have a lot of wisdom to impart. Just because you're old obviously doesn't make somebody wise, but they have seen a lot of things and they learn a lot of things through their own lessons. So maybe you don't have the cosmos all figured out by the time you're considered old, whatever that is. Because my dad's like 80, and I'm like, my dad looks pretty good. I think that 80 is like the new whatever 50. So, but whatever old is, doesn't necessarily make you wise, but your life experiences, your personal life experiences, your trials, your tribulations, all of that, it brings about a sort of wisdom. You've learned from your mistakes. You've learned just by having a life in general. So it's a lot of this wisdom that's being passed down to us, and it's like saying just to make sure that you maybe listen when people who are older than you or maybe have gone through some stuff. Maybe they're not that much older, they're like a year older than you, but listen to all those different stories, and just even if they have a completely different life from you, they live completely across the other end of the world, they have something that could possibly relate to your own life, and see how could I maybe avoid that very same mistake in my life, or where have I seen something like that occur in my life, and how could I also grow from it. So it's like a multi-message here, but I'm getting that this wisdom is coming in, and that there are these older folks, and not necessarily that much older, that are just willing to talk and share their stories, and now is the time to listen to them. But then I also have, the king and queen of pentacles, like what the deuce. And I am getting that there is this. Well, we were already talking about a shift. There's this huge shift and change that's been coming through, and it's kind of like the tower is maybe still falling, but there's this tower moment that keeps coming up for me a lot, like in general, not just my own life, but there's like towers crumbling everywhere. But it's a good thing because it's bringing this transformation. This death card is now coming up. It's like death is now following the crumble of whatever this is that's going on. Could be beliefs and stuff like that. And I see the rise of a king and queen, like actually learning who we are, our sovereign power. Because I think a lot of people give away that power to others. Like, obviously Diane's a tarot reader, I'm a tarot reader. Like, there are a lot of readers out there. And I think sometimes people put too much in other people's hands. They say, like, if I go to this person, they are going to change my life for me. They are going to, tell me what to do. When really readers and counselors and, psychologists, everybody, they're there to guide you to help yourself.
Amen.
Once you find the power in yourself, you're unstoppable. But if you give your power away saying, I can't be something until this person tells me I'm that, or I can't do something until people tell me I can do it. That's a way of giving your power away. And like, I'm very much about empowering people. And so I feel like
Amen.
with
Amen.
all this knowledge that's coming in, with all this transformation that's going on, these beliefs are shifting, this energy is shifting, that people are going to start finding how powerful they really are. And that's going to make people who love to be the ones in charge of that power very nervous. But that's a good thing. So
Love it.
that's my message.
I must say that you're right. We're here to guide you and give you a direction, and it's up to you which road to take and what your decisions you make on your life. And it's up to you if you want to change. Nobody can change your life but yourself. Thank you for bringing that. That is Tara. That was one of the most powerful. Again, I'm the same. I'm here to empower, not to disempower. And absolutely, that is what you want. You want somebody to empower you, not to take your power away. I love it. I had to comment on that because it's so perfect. Now, going to my cards, I did pour some Alice. I put 3 Alice tarots and I put 2 of the fairy tarots. Okay. So, again, here I got the devil card, meaning there'll be a lot of things that will make your mind, will make you want to not believe on what is behind the veil. Like, again, a lot of people will want to take your power. So, again, this is the part. And how does it take your power? Even using your own free will. So be aware of that. Be aware that this is just an illusion and that's nothing to worry about. Then again, there's a lot of things offered to you. Don't be grumpy about it, but enjoy what you have. Enjoy what you have right now, and be curious about it, what more is there about you. Okay, be curious to cross that veil. Okay, be curious to see outside of what is being presented to you. And one of the things when you cross the veil, what is being told by the fairies, to start loving life, everything, even the stuff that looks negative. Find the positive out of it. Okay, like let's say a lot of people say, what is there to be happy about being locked in? Well, maybe this is the time you put some time on yourself and you start learning who you are, instead of watching TV and spending time on stuff that will program you on news. Get out of that. Go into your inner self and start loving life. If you can still go to a park, go to a park. Go hug trees. Hugging trees, guys, is one of the best things you can ever do. The trees have knowledge. When you hug a tree, not only cleanse your energy, believe it or not, but also it will give you knowledge, whether you are aware of it right away or not, but it will give you a lot of knowledge. Go out and look at now, when you go out for that walk in the park, if you can, do leave your phone at home. Do go and pay attention on the leaves, on the butterflies, on the birds, everything. Listen to your surrounding. Be that back to that child. You bring your inner child out. Okay. Don't forget, don't take life too serious, but enjoy. And you know what? Every time you catch me, no matter what I'm going through, I'm laughing. Yesterday, I thought I was going to die and I was laughing through the whole thing. One thing I didn't have was worry. I was not worried about it. Whatever it is, again, don't be afraid of if it's time to go, it's time to go. You're not going anywhere anyway. You're going ahead. You're elevating. So it's not that you're going to disappear. You become more stronger. So, but enjoy life. Don't be too worried about things. And when you have that trust, and children, they don't care about things. They don't even know what's going on around. They just want to play. But keep playing, being that child. And that's the message for this week. No matter what is being given to you. So I get started with that. And yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, next, let's play. Already, guys? So it is the shift, like she was saying. And then in that shift, during the shift, you will be encountering some things that you're not going to like. Just be curious and cross that veil and be that child. Hope that makes sense.
Very cool. Speaks of big kids. I mean, like everybody has stuff down there today. So.
And, yeah, little unicorn. Yeah. Look at my pen, my unicorn pen. Well, actually, one of these is gonna go. I have the little dolls that I created, and they all gonna come with. But this Benny Bunny is gonna go with one of the dolls. One of this pen is gonna go with one of these unicorns is gonna go with the doll until I have it. But the dolls take a long time to make. By the way, so I don't know. I create things not because I want to. Divine tells me to. When I start doing these dolls, it's like honestly it takes more time and they're more expensive to do. But somebody needs a worry doll, and I had to create it. It's like, why am I making do this? And I do. I just do it. I just go and do it. It's not something that I made. I don't know if I'm going to do it forever, but it's just the divine tells me what to do.
I used to have a few worry dolls when I was growing up too. I got an idea, and sometimes it was like a bunch of little worry dolls, but they were in a barrette, and I used to always keep it on my head,
They're originating in Guatemala. They started the worry dolls. But this is Diane style, divine in a love. Diane style worry doll.
But I was always like rubbing the little doll. Please take away my worry.
Chiquita bonita. Look at her shoes. Chiquita bonita. Tons of them in here. I know, right? Oh, this mermaid, her hair is being tampered for. Let me comb her hair. Another mermaid.
Let's see. I'm going to pick a pog. Actually, I have my little thing of pogs.
Okay.
For pogs from the 90s.
Okay.
I'm going to pick a pog, and that's going to be the direction of our healing energy for the end of our chat. And then, yeah. And Diane, I don't know how you do your healing energy, but just do your thing.
I will do sound healing for you guys.
Pick a pog. Okay, so these are all of my pogs. They're just little things, and then you have the little treasure troll slammer, and you just kind of slam it down. But I don't know if I have enough room, so I'm actually just gonna mix these in my hand and pick a pog from there. I think I'm just gonna have pogs fly all over the desk and floor and rocks. Okay, so pick a pog, and I'm actually gonna pair it with one of my charms because I think they go well together. So
I was going to put charms, but I'm gonna go and do the sound healing.
Pick a pog, pick a pog. Pick a pog, any pog. Okay, it looks like we have our pog, and I'm going to keep it face down, and I'm going to pull a charm. So let me put this in the little pog backpack. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my charm bowl. Whoops. Here, I'm just going to pick a charm. Chantal living the pajama party. Woo, woo. Okay. Oh, okay, that's cute. Okay. The pog says cope, and it's meant to look like the dare symbol, but cope. celebrating our pure emotions.
Mhm.
And the charm, we get this cute little girl dressed up as a kitty cat. So that
Play.
goes exactly with what Diane was saying about bringing out your inner child. And that's like what I was just reading in a book yesterday. That sometimes people feel like when you reach a certain age, you're too old to do
Mhm.
that anymore. You're too old to believe in that anymore. You're too old to act like that anymore. Um, and they say, that it's good to always tap into your inner child, because if you feel like throwing a tantrum, that's your inner child trying to tell you that something is not fair or something is wrong. And that's something that you need to take a look at. So we don't need to lock the inner child up in a room. You need to work in tandem. You are the adult, but there's a little kid that's living inside of you that you need to be very kind to. Sometimes we're not very kind to that little kid. But that kid is deserving of love. That kid is deserving of playtime, of feeling safe and secure. So you want to nurture and love that child as much as possible. And one way to do that is to celebrate pure emotions, because that's what children do. They have pure emotions. I mean, I teach high school, so my freshmen and my seniors, there seems to be kind of a big dichotomy between them, whereas freshmen, they have these huge swings. Either I'm really happy right now, or I'm so depressed right now, or so and so's not talking to me, so I'm so angry right now. But they are full of every single emotion, and they are not afraid to share them. You
Mhm.
know, and although maybe when they decide to share those emotions is not always at appropriate times, I don't want to shut down their emotions either. I don't want to tell them that how they're feeling is bad, and I don't think that you guys should try to shut down your emotions in that same way, where it's bad to feel angry, or it's bad to feel bad, or it's bad to feel sad. You know, there's negative and positive emotions, but doesn't mean like in terms of good or bad. It's just a polarity, and you have to be able to express yourself in a way that won't won't cause harm to the body. The more you hold stuff in, bad things happen. Um, so this is all about the healing energy that I want to push out to you guys, is allowing yourselves to be open to expressing emotion, finding time, maybe, having a total meltdown in the middle of somebody's wedding, probably not the time to do that, but there will be a time for that. So not shutting it down completely, but finding time for you guys to express the gamut of emotions that you have, not thinking that one is bad or one is better than the other. And one way to do that is to really, really tap into your inner child and be kind to that child. That's a little kid in you. I don't think that you would talk like that to a kid that was standing in front of you the way that some of you guys talk to yourselves. So really kind, really gentle with them, because they're just looking for guidance. They're just looking for love. So that is what I want to put out as far as healing energy. I want to be able to open you guys to connecting with your inner child, and connecting you guys to all of your emotions, not suppressing them in any way. Okay, so let's see what people had to say. Catherine says, my friend says, you don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. I've always loved that. Michelle, I love all the stuffies. I have lots of unicorns in my collection now. Shadowlander said, I'm a Syrian mermaid. Ooh. Um, let's see. Stanley, for me, it's Masters of the Universe, He-Man, Skeletor, any of those things I had as a kid in the 80s. So that's what I want you guys to channel. Yes. Kay teaches primary, and my inner child gets me through the day sometimes. My inner child comes home with me each day too. That's
Beautiful.
perfect.
And I'm
Okay.
going to activate that for you guys right now. Is that okay? Can I do the activation? And I did it with the sea melody of the mermaids. And I'm gonna do a sound activation. It's just very quick. But everything we talk, we're gonna activate that child within you. Okay. So if you can close your eyes if you want to, and listen to the sound of the ocean, 'cause the mermaids have a message and a healing for you. The mermaids have a message and a healing for you. Explore, my child, and be wild. Be yourself and enjoy your life. And the mermaids send a message for you. Be yourself. Enjoy your life. The mermaids are sending you now water to purify and cleanse all your worries. Bring out all your childhood. Enjoy your life. Enjoy, enjoy. Ah, ah. Ooh, take a deep breath in.
Woo!
Let it out, let it out. And that was the mermaid for you guys, bringing you that healing and that activation.
Okay. So, you guys can stick around for the healing. You're more than welcome. But just know if you're open to it, which you just have to say it aloud or in your mind or in the comments, know that it'll reach you wherever you are. You don't have to be in lotus pose, although if you want to do that, that's totally fine too. But if you have to go off and go mow the yard or, you got to go tend to the kids or whatever it is, just know that that healing energy will come to you. This healing energy is all about the inner child nurturing him or her, being able to let them express their emotions in a healthy way, and not suppressing them, being kind to them, loving to them because they are so so anyways, that is the energy I'm bringing to you, so here we go. All right, guys.
That's good. Thank you.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and Diane, thank you so much for jumping in with me.
Thank you for having me here. It was amazing. I love you guys. Love, honor, and respect to all of you guys. And thank you for having me here today. It was amazing. I enjoyed every second. And I love that healing. I feel much better now. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
That inner kid. So
Yes.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Some of you guys are already on Sunday, so I'm hoping you have a wonderful Sunday. Yes, and the bunnies bye too, and Jules says goodbye.
Benny Bunny.
Yeah, and I will see you guys next weekend. And I have some videos, of course, coming up this week. Tuesday, I have a special video. It's connected to a series that Maha from Maha's Treasure Box has created, and it's working with the moon. So my video that I'm creating is called Moon Reflection in the Water. So being able to learn about the relationship between the moon and the earth and being able to see that same relationship in our own lives. So I'm going to be talking about that on Tuesday. Monday, I'm going to do the response video for the video that I posted yesterday, Friday, about improving your psychic ability. And I showed you guys one of my cat's stuffed animals. You had to tell me which cat you thought it was and any other feelings or songs you heard, things you saw out the window, anything just to get you guys to, practice that. And I will give you the answer and how your answers related to it. And then have some other fun videos, but those are like my two main videos for next week. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you. I'm just kind of like randomly looking at the names. There's Kay and Catherine and Isabel and Sophie and Chantal and Isabel and everybody and everybody started around it. So you know, yeah, so lots of opportunities and it's girls and it's so hot up here. I might actually do that with people come on Facebook. So, all right. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for coming to our Pajama Jam. I didn't know what direction it would go, but there's all kinds of things that we don't have a lot of time. And I want to travel in